He led the NFL in passing last year.
Mike Tannenbaum on Greeny. Baseball Mets co-ace Max Scherzer's been placed on the injured list with irritation in his left side. Manager Buck Showalter says the team expects him to miss only 1 or 2 starts. Meantime, in Game 1 of today's doubleheader in Pittsburgh, the Mets have a 5-1 lead on the Pirates in the top of the 9th.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau.
What's happening here on a Wednesday? It's a game week in Jacksonville, and now it's really a game week. Tuesday was an off day for the players, and now if you're an NFL player, coach, fan, you really start to ramp up towards Sunday. It's really a 5-day week. When
Feels
it's
like it.
Yeah, you got to count down toward it. Now, for you, the fan, it's like a 30-hour week right now because you got a game tomorrow.
It's all coming at you fast.
Yeah, it's coming quick. And, I mean, you better have your fantasy football team ready to go, lined up in, survivor pools done, pick-em games signed up for.
So much responsibility.
Shelling out a lot of Venmo money lately. Steph's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, this really is
Another
the time
one?
of year where, like, suddenly I'm really using PayPal and Venmo way more than I ever have. Yeah.
It is amazing. I'm like, okay, I'll jump in this one. Chance to win X dollar? Okay, let's do it.
It's not even a money thing for the most part. I'm in
No,
like
it really is.
4 or 5 leagues. Only 2 of them are for money. Like, mostly it's about bragging rights.
See, that's funny you say that. That's not me. I have got to play for some money.
Oh.
Like, I can't, like, I could care less.
About bragging rights?
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I mean, you telling me bragging rights, if I can go beat you in a game of basketball or maybe even on the golf course or in ping pong, that's bragging rights. If I've got to rely on some guy to remain healthy for 17 weeks and me just get lucky that even though I scored 140 points in fantasy, the other guy didn't score 141, that to me has nothing to do with bragging rights. Like, I can't co-sign that.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as it is. You know, you make a take, you support your take, and then you see how it plays out. If it hits, you're a genius.
Yeah, see, I don't have as much ego as people think. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I lose, I lose. Whatever. Let's play the game, though.
Yeah.
I like to play.
Yeah.
I like to play. I like to win, but I like to play.
Okay.
And that's okay. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz on his way to Orlando.
On the road.
The guy has this secret fetish with soccer.
It's not so secret, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
spends
unhealthy.
his entire time in this room watching soccer.
It's
when he
really
should be producing the radio show.
It's an unhealthy thing.
He gets very upset.
I can't get upset at us today, at least not that we know of.
He might. He still might. He visited me this morning in my office. We were talking. I told him I may call him 17 or 18 times during the game just to say hi.
I like Casey though, man. He's asked me for my tripod. He's got the phone connection. He's got the microphone. He's gonna do a little work for ESPN
he cracked
now.
me up. I was like, so you're going to have fun at the soccer game, are you? And he goes, well, actually, I'm filming a stand-up. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, are you doing a report for TV or something? He goes, no, for the radio station. I was like, then you're not filming a stand-up. You're just holding your phone out and you're doing a video for social media. What are you talking about?
That's the way it works. But I asked, is the tripod or monopod tall enough?
Oh, yeah, he's a big guy.
He said he tested it. So there it is. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter in on a Wednesday. And from here on out now, we've got guests. And Clay Harbor scheduled to join us. I always say scheduled when I talk I deal with an NFL player. Oh, yeah, I get completely nervous, like very nervous.
Yeah,
I've done this a lot.
Yeah.
If you knew the battles that are going on, not with Clay, by the way, but battles that are going on behind the scenes to get people, players, everything else locked up for the fall, you would know why I say scheduled. Scheduled it is for Clay Harbor. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. He's going to do it every Wednesday. We're excited about it. We just launched and introduced yesterday. Maurice Jones-Drew's going to join us on Mondays. And I've got another special announcement coming up tomorrow. We're going to hold off on that. You got announcements all over the place. It's really kind of fun.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of, like my buddy and I, we call this action. There's a lot of action happening.
Yeah, a little buzziness.
Yeah, it's not just action news jacks or action sports jacks, but there's a lot of action.
Got the plug in. You're a professional, Brent.
Hey, Delphonic, I do not believe you. I just don't believe you. He says, I mainly tune in for Casey. I'll see you all tomorrow. That ain't happening.
Even Chip and Teresa don't only tune in for Casey.
Very good point. Amanda's listening today. I guarantee it. She is listening. It's not just Casey.
He's like, thankfully, he's gone to the soccer game.
All right. We got some news out of Jags headquarters, which is no surprise, but they wanted to kind of hold on to this as long as they could. The depth charts came out yesterday, and this really told the story. How about the fact that Ben Barch is the left guard.
Yep.
Jawaan Taylor's the right guard. I think this is a fascinating storyline at right tackle especially. And an interesting one at left guard, the way this, started about a month and a half ago now. But that's the story. Ben Barch, your former fourth-round pick, is now the starting left guard for the Jacksonville Jaguars. To make up that line, now you've got Cam Robinson, Ben Barch, you have Luke Fortner, the rookie, you have Brandon Sheriff, the actual sheriff of guard play in the NFL, and now you have Jawaan Taylor. So you have a rookie guy, you have an inexperienced one at left guard. That's going to be the key to watch, that interior. How much can Sheriff help that? How much can he make up for that? How much can these guys play well around? And then your bookend guys are actually experienced, play a lot of football now in the NFL. And where that leaves Walker Little, we'll get to that in just a moment. But that's your starting front, protecting the franchise, protecting one of the most important players that have ever played in a Jags uniform, Trevor Lawrence. Their job is to do a good job, Aaron, and that they better do.
Obviously, you want to keep that guy upright. He's the future of the franchise. Come on.
So do you like that offensive line? Nobody likes their offensive line. Let me go back to the base point of this, right? I always say this is a baseline of toxicity in an NFL organization just to begin with, and then it changes whether you win or lose or who's in there.
Yeah.
But there's also this baseline of we suck on offensive line for an NFL fan base.
Like that's everybody.
Everybody. Everybody with the exception of the Philadelphia Eagles aren't saying that this year. Dallas Cowboys over the years didn't say that.
Sure.
Indianapolis probably feels better about their offensive line than their offensive line really is because it's become a narrative. And they did rush, Jonathan Taylor had 2,000 yards or something. So they did a good job. But I'm just telling you, every fan base doesn't think their offensive line is as good as the people in the building think their offensive line is.
I'm trying to figure out ways to tell you why I disagree with you, but to be honest, I can't remember. I'm 42 years old, and I can't remember, at least in the last 20 years, the time I've been happy with the Jets' offensive line. So you're probably right.
Well, the bottom line is, I don't think you have to have an unbelievable offensive line to win. Indianapolis has been very good, right? They didn't. What did they win? Nothing. They didn't even get to the playoffs. Dallas, they have less playoff wins this century than the Jacksonville Jaguars, and their offensive line has been light years better.
Yeah.
So is it the most important thing? No. Does it make you feel better? Yes. And you want to be able to run the ball, and you want to protect your quarterback. So those are two vital parts of football. But the Jags, I think, have done that. If you look at it over the last even 15 years, their offensive line has not been as leaky as people want to say. At times it's been awful. But over the 15 years, look at all the running backs they've had. They've done a good job with the run. And then there are some things with pass pro. I mean, Blake Bortles was sacked 58 times or something one year. That was ridiculous.
But, part of that is also the fact that we didn't necessarily surround all these guys with receiving talent every year. I mean, we had some good ones here and there, but it's not like we went out with deliberate purpose to go recruit some of the better pass catchers in the league. It's going to hurt getting the ball out of your hands quickly if you can't get guys who are catching separation.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll see what happens. Again, one good thing about the offensive line. Well, two good things. James Robinson helps the offensive line because he's a fall forward guy. And so he's not going to be dancing behind the line of scrimmage. He'll actually, he can push and he can turn a 0-yard gain into a 1 or 2 yard gain. And while that doesn't seem significant, I tell you in that building, that's a significant thing because you don't want to go 2nd and 12. 2nd and 12 scares the hell out of offensive coordinators.
Sure. There's not much you can do in that window of plays over
2nd and 8 doesn't, though. It's a weird thing. Or 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 doesn't scare the heck out of them. 2nd and 12 does. And so James Robinson makes the offensive line better. And they've done a pretty good job in the run blocking for him in his 2 years here. Trevor Lawrence really makes the offensive line better.
Yeah.
I mean, he made them look probably better than they were last year. And I don't think they were a disaster, but he did definitely make them look better than they were at times because of his elusiveness, his presence in the pocket, his presence to feel, but yet still keep his eyes downfield. Like, those are things that we talked about yesterday, that Ringer article they applauded him on. Mm-hmm. That also is very advantageous for your offensive line. So it's a good, yin and yang right there about Trevor and what he's able to do, and also what James Robinson's able to do to maybe help put this offensive line in a good situation.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find the stat. I saw a stat not too long ago. It was right after the draft, I think, because there were so many offensive linemen at the top of the draft or talked about being drafted high in the draft. And the stat was something like very few of the most recent Super Bowl winners have had high graded, at least for Pro Football Focus grading, highly graded offensive lines. All of them had great quarterbacks. All of them had the guy to get them there. But very few of them had these all-pro from left tackle to right tackle offensive lines in front of that quarterback.
Hard to do.
Yep.
I mean, just think about it. Like, I always say this about quarterbacks, and we've got the best quarterback play we've ever had. I continue to say that, and I think I'm right. But I also believe being elite at quarterback is the hardest job in the world. I don't care what you do for a living or what your cousin does for a living or what your dad does for a living or what somebody did for a living. It's the hardest thing, I think, in the world of any profession to be elite at the QB spot. At one time in the entire world, this entire globe, Mars included if you want to, if you can go out to the outer spaces. I think getting elite quarterbacks, there's like 4 or 5 of them at one time?
I guess it depends where you draw that line, but yeah, there's not too many.
Yeah, and there are more now than there were even like 10 years ago. It used to be like definitely 3 or 4 at one time we'd put in elite category. We may now stretch it over to 5, 6, 7 of them. So, but you get my point. Well, in the same breath, finding 320-pound men that are tough, athletic, and want to kick your ass is not a common thing around the globe.
And by the way, good at football. And 5 of them.
That's not an easy thing. So should we be surprised that it's hard to get 5 of them to do the job all at once on the same team times 32?
I've always just been fascinated that these guys aren't injured every other game. These are massive human beings.
I know. You start to watch. I'm knock on wood now, but like I watch the game, how much guys get rolled up on.
Yeah. And
at the end of a tackle, right? And then they fall over something. It is amazing. I mean, so close. It's got to be kind of scary when they go back and watch the film. It's like when you almost get in a car accident. You're like, oh my gosh.
You're like that, just
it jars
death.
You, right?
Yeah.
And not only death, but I mean, getting in a car accident's not fun. It doesn't have to be like one at like it's 85 miles an hour, but even a fender bender. Like you're like, oh shoot, I almost didn't hit the brakes in time or something. It's like I didn't want to deal with that today.
Yeah.
Well, these guys, they've got to watch that film back and be like, dang, I got lucky there. I got lucky. And they're not the only ones. Receivers are too, and running backs are too. I mean, all you have to do is plant a different way, and somebody comes down on it if you're any position. So, but I noticed, I was watching actually some of the college football and thinking that the other day. I'm like, gosh, it's amazing these guys don't get hurt on almost every play.
Yeah,
I mean, you're just talking about inches from more. And then you see the injuries that are like, why did he get hurt there?
Yeah, well, that's the other part of it. Like, I literally, a couple of years ago, was literally taking a piece of paper off of the printer, and I guess my hip just moved in a weird way. Back spasm hit the floor. Like, I couldn't move for an hour. I was humiliated, laying on the floor of the office, and like 2 of my friends come walking by, and I'm like, please don't tell anybody. Just keep walking back to your office. I'm going to get up here in a minute. And nothing happened. It just happened to be the way the disc moved that day. I don't know.
That's not doing much for your toughness. Go and get a piece of paper.
I got taken out by a piece of paper. Yeah, man.
It would be, I tell you, paper cuts stink, but I guess going to get a piece of paper sometimes are worse.
When you have the back of a 94-year-old, yes, it ends up being worse.
That's Aaron Schachter, by the way. He's afraid of paper, not me. Other part of the offensive line, which we don't usually come out of the gates and go offensive line, but the story of the day, and again, this is something that Doug Pederson had made up his mind some 2 weeks ago. They kept quiet, and I think partly maybe some gamesmanship, but also did they have some feelers for a guy like Walker Little? And I want to get into Walker Little in a moment, but Jawaan Taylor, that's a really nice story now. This was a huge year. It's amazing how players play in these big years and the focus. Like, in life, like it's scientifically proven, if you're up against it, you're going to dig a little harder. You know, you're going to focus a little bit more. Any walk of life. If your boss goes into your office tomorrow and says you're about to get fired later this week if you don't do X, X, and X, you're going to probably put on your best performance of the next few days.
Yeah.
Well, those guys didn't have that conversation, but they knew that conversation existed. First Cam Robinson last year, Jawaan Taylor this year. And what I think you have to do is give those guys credit for focusing and getting the job done. And in Cam's case, getting the job done to a really good contract. Jawaan Taylor at least holding off Walker Little for now and seeing what this could mean for the rest of his career. I think it also goes in, it's like, okay, why couldn't you do that all the time?
Yeah.
You know, I think there is that question from a fan standpoint. It's like, why are you so inconsistent then? Like, should we worry about this now that you have a contract or now that you're playing? So that's fair.
But you kind of hope the competition kind of kicks it in gear permanently.
I would think so. And now, yeah, I don't want to have that happen to me again, right? Now let's – and by the way, when you're a young player, you don't think about some of those things maybe. But now that you're a veteran player in Jawaan and Cam's situation, you're like, all right, I now want to go – now that I got the contract in Cam's spot, now I want to be one of the top 3 left tackles in the game. So maybe that becomes the motivation for him. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't before. Like, I have no idea. I'm just kind of surmising.
Well, let me ask you, do you think the Taylor-Little battle, you think that was a real battle? You think they were undecided going into camp?
Oh, no, that was a battle. Oh, yeah. Jawaan, in fact, no, I'll tell you more about that battle. Jawaan Taylor didn't have that job going into camp, in my opinion. I think 2 weeks into camp, that was Walker Little's job.
Do you think Jawaan won it back or Walker let him take it?
That's a good question. I think Jawaan won it back. I think there were some moments for Walker Little, but not enough of them to be like, oh, my gosh, this guy can't play.
Yeah.
I think Jawaan won it back. I don't remember something that, like, from, again, you got an eye pop out, right? Like, at some of these things like, whoa, Jawaan, what happened? I don't remember that. I remember a player, too, I think in practice more, and maybe one in the game, I think, well, it would have been against T.J. Watt probably for Walker Little, where it was like, what was that? But I don't remember those kind of plays for Jawaan Taylor. Now, Taylor missed like 10 days of camp as well. And so, again, this was Walker Little's job to lose at one point, I think. And I don't know if he actually lost it as much as Jawaan Taylor, who technically is the incumbent and has had a lot of experience there, won it back or didn't allow him to go get the job. So I don't think he lost. That's a great question. I don't think Walker Little lost it. I do think Jawaan Taylor won it, but I kind of do feel like he had to win it back. Does that make sense?
Yes. But my follow-up is, do you think the Barch battle was a real battle, or do you think they were trying to manufacture some competition there?
That's a good question, too. I don't...
Because you didn't really hear it debated as much. Yeah, it really wasn't talked about that. It was just some uncertainty around the position.
No, here's what was weird about that, is first of all, I think they love Luke Fortner. So, Luke Fortner, you get the job day one of camp. You roll out there the ones who were like, what's going on here? Maybe this is going to be a battle. I remember the conversation.
Yep.
Nope, day 2, he's out. Oh, well, that's it. He's their guy.
He's the guy.
They like him. They're going to play him. And I love Doug Pederson, who said this about a lot of his rookies. It's like, we drafted him in the 3rd round. We got to play him. Like, we got to see what the guy's all about. That wasn't the thing last year with Urban now. So I appreciate that out of Doug. But what was interesting is Shatley moves to the left side, and I'm thinking Ben Barch is going to get that job. And now Tyler Shatley's a backup center. Well, they moved him to left guard, but it wasn't for like 2 days. They moved Tyler Shatley for a solid 2 weeks to left guard. Might even been more than that. And what I think they did in hindsight is he's the most veteran player on this roster. And I think that was a show of respect. Like, hey, you're not going to get this job. We got to give it to the kid. But go see if you can blow us away on the left guard spot. We know you can play there.
Just giving him opportunities.
And give you an opportunity, and you've earned that. You've earned the opportunity to go start on this line in this position. And I think it was just okay. And I also think the Jags decided, wait a minute now. We got a guy that we think can play there, and we got to see if he can play too. We haven't seen a lot of Ben Barch, and he was pretty good there last year when we did see him. But we also don't have a backup center. And so if for some reason Tyler Shatley goes down, now we really don't have a backup center. And we like Shatley at center when we need him in a pinch hit role. So there was a lot going on there to answer your question. I think it was a show of respect. I think they wanted to play the rookie. And then I think they also was like, you know what, Ben's a big body, better guy in this spot, but we also need a center. So we can talk ourselves into all of that and come up with the decision we made. And I think they came up with that decision weeks ago, too. Just didn't tell everybody that it was Fortner, Barch, and backing up those guys and backing up center especially is Tyler Shatley. So he had an opportunity. I don't know it was a great opportunity, but the most veteran player of the Jacksonville Jaguars is still important. I know they value him a lot for his ability to really play three positions on the offensive line, but back up that center role especially. What I want to say real quick, though, is Walker Little a waste of a draft pick or not? Because now you got a guy who was picked 45th overall, and he's played 2 games in the NFL, and let's just say Jawaan Taylor does a good job, and Cam Robinson stays healthy.
Yeah, you're not really going to see the guy.
For 2 years, you got 2 games. But inside, they would argue, we got him to push Cam Robinson to get the best play, and Jawaan Taylor to get the best play. So did that pick not have value, or did it have value?
But do you think that was the value they were looking for?
No, and now they have a backup swing tackle guy, though. So they add to depth. So I can come around with their thinking a little bit. At face value, the 45th overall pick should not be brought in to push the other guys to be at their best.
Yeah.
And to be a swing tackle.
But it worked.
But is it really that bad if it works out that way, where you feel comfortable at left tackle, comfortable at right tackle, and you really feel comfortable if one of those guys get injured that you've got a good swing guy that can play both spots? That's a pretty good place to be for the football team.
Agreed.
So maybe that second-round pick was worth it. More than 2 games and potentially 2 years. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Hot and humid today under partly sunny skies with an isolated to widely scattered afternoon thunderstorm. Temperatures reaching the mid-90s, dropping into the low to mid-70s tonight. Partly sunny tomorrow. Scattered afternoon storms start to increase with a high near 90. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys. No markups, no retail games, and never a commission.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open. Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjacks.com.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes the mortgage process can be a tricky one, a dead end for some. Not with Carrington Mortgage Services. They have a team that will find a solution for you. That's what they do. That's what they are experts in, finding loan solutions for unconventional borrowers. If you're self-employed or a freelancer, if you have low credit scores, if you're an investor looking to use cash flow to qualify, Carrington Mortgage Services will find a loan for you. CarringtonMortgage.com. Carrington Mortgage Services, LLC, NMLS ID number 2600, Equal Housing Lender.
A new era is here for Jaguars football. New championship-winning coach, new superstars, and new optimism. One consistent this fall is Tailgaters Parking will still be delivering the very best tailgating experience at the bank all season. Tailgaters Parking doesn't just talk a big game. They're right across the street from TIAA Bank Field. Offer clean, permanent restrooms, food options, a full liquor bar, and all parking spots are on a well-kept grass lot. Check out Tailgaters Parking at tailgatersparking.com to reserve your spot today.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover Jacksonville, Porsche Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Koala, koala, koala insulation.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. That summer heat's right around the corner, and so are those high energy bills. Don't just sweat it out, do something about it. Call Koala Insulation today for your free evaluation. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
I ate like 800 calories yesterday.
I forgot your diet. I got to ask you how it's going.
That's day 2 of the diet, right?
You know, days
Should I
one,
get free commercial for Optavia?
1 through 3 are always the hardest.
But I'm telling, like, I didn't.
Are you paying for this? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Brent.
Well, it's not. Steph and I are doing it.
Don't pay for torture though.
I know, but you got to lock in a little bit, right? It's like why you go to the gym. Why everybody goes to the gym in January. It's like I'm going to pay it, so I'm going to do it, right?
Yeah.
And I think we have some friends that have done it. And like, all right, let's try it. I'm cool. I'm up to try it. But
I'm cool.
Yeah, just clip that part out. I'm cool. But somebody asked me today. They were like, "So how many calories?" I was like, "I don't even know. I didn't even pay attention." Well, everyone. So you eat 6 meals. Or 6 things. So they call them like 5 fuelings, really.
They're trying to keep your metabolism running, right?
It's all about metabolism, of course. And so it's 100. Like this thing has 110. That's the highest one. So if you think about those 5, that's 500, tops 550. And yesterday I had like some steak, like 6 ounces of steak.
Probably filled you right up.
And what else? What else? Oh, it's salad, but you can't even have salad dressing. I don't know what waste that is.
Can you have like vinaigrette?
Nah, not well. I think you can cheat with it a little bit, but you're not supposed to, or it counts as something else accordingly. But anyway, I was cool though. I was cool with it. It was good. Like I ate 6 times. Like I didn't even really need to eat the last time.
Yeah.
But
so then why did you?
Overall, no, because I think you have to. Like they tell you, you can't. You don't want to be skipping.
All right.
And like I don't eat breakfast, but now I got to eat breakfast. So today was like oatmeal, very little oatmeal.
Yeah.
But
and no flavor in that oatmeal, right? It's like steel cut oats.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh,
I mean, it's terrible that I'm talking myself into being good. It's like when you're like, I'm big on the mentality of things. So Kaylee and I will go out and pitch, and she's like, "It's so hot." I was like, "Kaylee, it's not hot. It's not hot. You got to talk yourself into being it's not hot." I mean, if you sit here and if you sit out here and say it's hot like 15 times, all it does is gain like a degree every time you say it.
I guess that's fair, but you know what? Here, when it's 118 degrees and like thick humidity, I don't know if you're convincing yourself it's not hot.
Yeah, but
outside.
you got to just be like, it's not hot. I've had hotter, right? And so I'm saying I've had worse. Like this is good. This is good. And it's actually, some of it's not bad at all. But
I was thinking about you today and your diet because I picked up some health food.
I was going to say, I almost brought you 2 donuts just for fun. You can do just the opposite.
Here's the hard part.
We literally might be able to have this screen where the weight I lose, you gain. It'll be like this transfusion on the screen.
Yeah. Look, I'll take the TV weight. All I'm saying is I love me some turnovers so much that I'm sitting here on the radio. I got a dumb camera in my face, and I'm trying to find ways to sneak the icing.
Can't you go to black or something like that, or put a green screen up?
My hand up like this.
You go and eat. I just eat, man. Casey sits there the whole time and eats.
I'm a professional, Brent.
Isn't that what they said? They like this shows on Twitch. People who sit on Twitch like to watch people do things, play video games and eat and work.
Open boxes. Yeah,
it's odd, right? Still think that's so odd.
It's this voyeurism culture. I'm kind of into I always thought it was dumb to watch people play video games, and then I got into PUBG, and now I watch people play PUBG.
What's PUBG?
It's like a shooter.
Okay.
But it's on my phone, which is the cool part. It's like the coolest graphics and like something that would have looked way better than like my Super Nintendo did when I was a kid. Now I got it on my little phone. It's not so little. It's a big phone, but I don't know. I love that game. A lot of people love the Fortnite. I'm not really into that, but that's a big mobile gaming one too. I was talking to Casey about PUBG. So he's on Twitch for the Breakers, though. You know about Breakers?
Oh, yeah. Davoli's House of Cards, baby. Yeah, man. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Trevor Lawrence talking today on a game week.
Couple of quotes.
Yeah, Trevor's really everything everybody thought, right? Trevor is super mature, good dude, talented. He had to go through a lot. And I actually think, I was talking to somebody on the TV side. They're like, yeah, he's a quarterback. He kind of says the same thing everybody says. I'm like, yeah, that's what quarterbacks do. But I actually think Trevor's pretty transparent. I think he offers some insight. And he's not afraid. The thing I like about Trevor is he's not afraid really to bring up last year and talk about the growth and the learning and what we still haven't been able to quantify. And we're about to find out, and this is what I'm excited for, is seriously, and I don't say this in jest, seriously, the situation the Jags had last year, whether it was all Urban Meyer, 80% Urban Meyer, some Urban Meyer, however you feel about it, the situation they were in was not good. It was toxic. It did not help win games. But the question I have not been able to answer, and we're about to find out, is how many games does going from Urban Meyer to Doug Pederson inside the building alone mean? Like if you had last year's team and they rolled out there under Doug Pederson instead this year without adding anybody else, how many wins would that be good for? And I think that's a tough thing to answer, but guess what? I think we're about to get a little bit of an inclination over the next 17 weeks.
I mean, you'll get some info, but they did also really upgrade this roster.
And they did. But I think what we know as let's maybe football fans is we're not going to say, okay, Christian Kirk came in and Zay Jones came in and Evan Ingram came in. They're better. But they're not worth 5 wins better. That's not how the NFL works.
Right.
Okay, you got Trayvon Walker, young player, and Devin Lloyd, and you bring in Darius Williams, and you bring in Foley Fatukasi. Again, that's not 5 wins worth on that side of the ball. What you try to do is you go around and be like, all right, Trevor in year 2, is he worth a win? Yeah. Are the additions worth 2 wins this year? Yeah, maybe. Is Doug Pederson worth 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins? That's the one I don't know. I'll sign on to Trevor being good for 1 more win this year. Or 2 even if you want to go there. That gets you to 5. Let's just say the additions are good for 1 in general. That's 6 because the rest of the league is good now. Remember, the Jags got walloped sometimes last year. So they were already bad. They're just trying to catch up.
You know the math
and then where does Doug Pederson sit in that conversation? Is he good for 1, 2?
The math that also happens there isn't so much is Trevor good for this win and is Trayvon, but the combination is bringing in guys like Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and Evan Ingram for Trevor good enough for 2 wins, as opposed to just counting individuals.
That's good. That's fair.
For a win.
Yeah, just offense as a whole, defense as a whole.
Because that's the other thing is like if Trevor makes the step forward, even if you don't upgrade the roster, let's just say he throws 50% less picks and 30 to 50% more touchdowns, you're probably picking up a few wins right there. If your defense has more than 7 or 9 takeaways, you're probably picking up a few of those closer games that you had right there. So, like, then combining all the players in there, I think then they start to add up a little bit, although I don't want to get carried away.
Well, I know, because that's the other thing, right? You got to be realistic. They did win 3 games. Like, even with Urban Meyer, even with the disaster, they beat the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Even with the defense that gave
And
up
the Colts.
200 rushing yards to your New York Jets, they beat the Buffalo Bills, who were top offense in the NFL at the time. They didn't really run it much, but you get my point. So, I mean, you're going to get 3 wins. Jags, who they get the wins against? Miami on a couple field goals and really bad coaching by Brian Flores, if you really ask me. I thought he did a poor job. They got the surprise win over the Bills. And who else did they beat?
They beat the Colts.
Oh, they beat the Colts at the end of the year. Yeah, and that was their most impressive. That was Trevor. So Trevor got 1.
Yep.
I'm not giving Trevor the other 2 games. They scored like 9 points, and they kind of got a little fortunate in the Miami game. And now he did enough, but he wasn't like, oh my gosh, good. And the defense wasn't, oh my gosh, good. They got a little lucky in a way, right? Matthew Wright, the timing of everything, all worked out. And the Bills game, they just played lights out defense. So their defense won 1 game. Let's call it a team win against Miami. And we'll call it Trevor's win against Indianapolis. And so what does that look like in this year? Trevor get 3 now? The team win gets 3? Who did I say? The defense? Does the defense win you a game or 2? That's how I'm trying to put the puzzle pieces together. And in that conversation, somewhere, not all the time, fits a coach. And not always in Jacksonville. When you get a brand new coach, you have no idea if the guy's going to be any good. Yeah. You can't count him as W's. Well, here's what I know about Doug Pederson. He's a pretty good coach. He won a freaking Super Bowl. You have the better.
Is that good on the resume?
Let's be honest. Ron Rivera is a good coach.
Yes.
So if I ask the question simply this, who's got the coaching advantage on Sunday? Where does your head go?
I would give it to Doug. He's had more success.
Now listen, Rivera has done a nice job with Washington. Now, last year was a little weird, but 2 years ago was really good with like nothing. They coached the heck out of that team. And he's made a Super Bowl. Didn't win it, but he made it. I actually would say, and I'm a big Doug guy now, I think Doug is going to win this conversation a lot. But I don't know if I overwhelmingly oh, wow, Jack's got a distinct coaching advantage coming up Sunday. I think Ron Rivera's been around this thing long enough.
Ron Rivera is a good coach, obviously respected by players around the league. People like playing for the guy. He never really has a problem bringing people over there. He's done it. He's now rebuilt a team before, and he's trying to do it again, but I don't know. I look at a guy like Doug, and I think he's like a heady coach. I think of him as a heady coaching and offensive mind. I don't necessarily feel that way about Rivera's defense.
See, I'm a big believer that the players win. I am a believer in that, always have been. Now, I do think coaching matters in there in some way, shape, and form.
Sometimes in a game, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, like in Urban's case, it can really hurt you. It hurt the organization. In Bill Belichick's case, 9 out of 10 times, it's a helper. Right? Because their culture's there, and he's very good. He's very good at deciding defensive schemes, all these other things. I do think it matters. I'm just saying I don't normally go into conversations about game weeks and are like, okay, that coaching staff is going to win that football game, right? It's usually that quarterback or that offense or that defense. What's interesting in the conversation we're having right now about Washington, who I respect the heck out of Ron Rivera, I think you could actually give them the nod because of their other experience. Like Mike Caldwell has never called a play in the NFL as a defensive coordinator. Is that a knock against the Jags coming up on Sunday?
Well, it doesn't help.
So as much as we favor Doug, and I would put Doug, I'd give Doug that nod, no problem. If you look at the totality of the coaching staff, do you start to be like, well, I don't know. Jack Del Rio, you can have your thoughts about Jack Del Rio and everything he does on Twitter and all the rest, but he's been in the league a long time. He's a pretty darn good head coach, too.
Yep.
And he's a pretty good coordinator. And they've got some players there. So I just think that's an interesting question coming into the week. I think it's good enough that you could call it a draw. And so in this conversation of how many more wins does Doug Pederson get you because he's not Urban Meyer and he's now put this culture in place and it's not that culture in place, I think this week isn't one that I would say, oh, yeah, it's going to pay off big time. I think Ron Rivera does a lot of those things. Now, he's got to deal with a lot of garbage, too, in that Washington organization.
Oh, my God.
right? I mean, they're a mess.
It's a dumpster fire.
So I would just call, from this standpoint, if you want to break down this game and you go quarterbacks and you go running backs and receivers and defense and special teams, I would put the coaching probably at a pretty neutral standpoint. I'm not sure I would give one guy an edge over the other because I can't wait to watch Mike Caldwell's defense play. But I have no idea if he might make a rookie mistake in there, too. Like, I have no idea.
I'm just excited to see what the Jags look like when they open it up. Like, show us what you got. Show us what you've been building. Show us what you went out and bought this offseason.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
When we've gotten excited about things like that in the past, we get Houston last year. But to your point, that's what's fun about the week one.
Yeah.
There's so much unknown.
Hope springs eternal.
And it does spring. And I was looking at survivor pool kind of things yesterday. Go find me one that you really are locked in on.
Oh, you mean a game for week one?
Yeah, now the Ravens and the Jets, you certainly would go there now, probably with the Flacco news, right?
Hey, Flacco's
I'm not sure you would have done that with the Zach Wilson stuff, though. Like, are you?
Yes, I would have given the Ravens the win week one, yes.
Either way, like, they're a good survivor pool. Denver Broncos are at Seattle, and I don't think Seattle's very good. But are you convinced Denver's good? You haven't even seen them. They got a brand new coach.
I'm not convinced they're good, but I'm convinced they beat Seattle. Both of those
And that's
games,
on the road, by the way, at night.
You just made it worse.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'd still feel comfortable if I had to in a survivor pool.
And I'll give you another one.
Okay.
The Colts and the Texans, I think, are another one that you could say, just take a look at the spreads. And they're all like, I think those spreads are like 6.5, 7. So if I look at those, I'm like, okay, I mean, yeah, I think the Colts are going to win. I'd probably bet the Colts are going to win. But if I'm going to lose my survival pool on it, I'm not sure I trust the Colts.
Yeah.
Who the hell trusts the Colts?
No, I'm with you.
So it's just interesting from that standpoint where the Jags, a lot could happen in week one. And we just don't know how they're going to come out. Like, I love the way they're talking. I think there is a good feeling. I know enough people inside that building that know there is a lot better feeling. I mean, a lot better feeling than last year. Night and day. Even at this time of the year. But to go full circle on this conversation, I don't exactly know from a W's and L's standpoint what that means. I don't know how many more wins Doug Pederson's culture is going to get the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Urban Meyer's building of the team and disaster of a culture that ended up taking place. But the crazy irony and all that for me is I think if it means a lot, this team could really impress people. Like, it really carried a lot more weight than even I'm giving it credit. Now you might be talking about a team that could get rolling a little bit. And wouldn't that be fun to at least think about? We'll be back on ESPN 690. Clay Harbor joins us at the top of the hour each and every Wednesday on ESPN 690. Thanks for all the support on the Dream 18 cards. We sold out of Dream 18 cards, and we're raising more funds for local charities through the Dream 18. Coming up next, it's a Dream 18 golf tournament, September 19th at the Golf Club at Southampton. Registration is now open. We'd love you to be a part of it. Buy a foursome, or maybe just play on an individual basis. Maybe it's a tee sign. Get your company involved. Here's how you register. Action Sports Shacks, Dream18.com. September 19th at the Golf Club of Southampton. Play on our Dream 18 Action Sports Shacks, Dream18.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
If you play a sport or coach a sport or watch a sport in Jacksonville, there's a really good chance that uniform was ordered through Baker Sports. Look good, feel good, play good. Custom sports apparel at Baker Sports since 1997 and a staff that really wants to help. They are experts in the business and make outfitting your team a seamless endeavor. The homegrown Jacksonville business is now the top choice for apparel all over the Southeast. Baker Sports, uniforms, hats, shoes, embroidery, screen printing, and 3D printing. They do it all at Baker Sports, helping make your team look good.
Sometimes the mortgage process can be a tricky one, a dead end for some. Not with Carrington Mortgage Services. They have a team that will find a solution for you. That's what they do. That's what they are experts in, finding loan solutions for unconventional borrowers. If you're self-employed or a freelancer, if you have low credit scores, if you're an investor looking to use cash flow to qualify, Carrington Mortgage Services will find a loan for you. CarringtonMortgage.com. Carrington Mortgage Services, LLC, NMLS ID number 2600, Equal Housing Lender.
It's going to be a busy month at Best Bet Orange Park. The Greater Orange Park Open Tournament is back. This $500 no-limit hold'em tournament will be happening on Saturday, September 24th, with $120 satellites starting on September 21st. With plenty of parking and a safe and friendly environment, you'll see why Best Bet Orange Park was awarded the Best of Play in Event, Entertainment, and Sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekend. Best Bet Orange Park.
When I moved to Jacksonville 15 years ago, I found Nimnick Buick GMC. That led to the Acadia, a couple of them, in fact, and now the GMC Sierra truck. I'm on my second one of those, all from Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade. I know the product, the service, and I know the people. From Bill Nimnick to Jackie Lynch and James Jones, they've been my friends since 2008. Nimnick has been your friend in Jacksonville since 1941. NimnickBuickGMC.com. It's where I'll get my next truck, or maybe it'll be my kid's first vehicle, at Nimnick Buick GMC. This year, CGC Water Treatment is celebrating 75 years in business. Happy anniversary to them. Put their experience to work for you. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. I've had mine for a handful of years now. Absolutely love it at the house. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Call today and save hundreds, even thousands on a complete home solution for city and well water. Financing available with approved credit. And because the professionals at CGC Water are committed to being your go-to water experts, you can trust their master plumber with all your plumbing needs as well. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Right now you can take advantage of the $75 drain cleaning special. Call for details. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz down in the Orlando area. We've got Clay Harbor coming on at 4 o'clock. He'll join us each and every week. And Clay talking a lot these days about Chicago Bears and also the Philadelphia Eagles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. In fact, he said they all play at the same time on Sunday. Which one should I watch? Watch the Jags, Clay.
Jeez,
at least
Clay.
when you come on the show, make sure you say that.
Yeah.
We'll give you a little free advice.
Know where the home team is.
Jags name Jawaan Taylor. It was really in the depth chart, but they confirm it's Jawaan Taylor and Ben Barch. That's kind of the big story coming out of there. The other thing, James Robinson, how many carries will he get? We did the over-under yesterday on James Robinson, and there are just some people convinced like James isn't ready to go. I'm not in that camp, and I think if you heard Doug Pederson talk today, he kind of said what I think. Like, hey, if he's ready to go, he's ready to go. You know?
Can you explain to me, though, the or designation? In the depth chart, they listed James or Etienne as the starter.
Yeah, I think they do that because they don't want to say who's our number one back. Like, if they come out in a certain set, right?
Yeah.
I think they don't want to give away what they're going to do in part, right? They're not going to be ground and pound on first 2 downs.
So I was like, outside of them coming out at the same time, someone's got to come out first.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could go a 2-back set with them, but I think it's more. I think it's funny how, like, sometimes feelings are a part of this in my estimation. And I'm not sure I'm correct there, but it's like, well, you guys are both like, it's like 1A, right? Or 1A and 1B. And so we're going to put either or. And I do think from a personnel standpoint, it could change. I mean, maybe they come out attacking and go empty backfield and they put Etienne off to this, out split out wide.
Yeah, man.
They're probably not going to do that with James. And so I don't know if that's why they do it or not, but I don't think there's much to that other than I think he's going to play.
This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm so excited to see what Doug's going to bring to the field or even what Press Taylor's going to bring to the field, just because if they do come out with the 2-back set, which, it's very possible that they might. I mean, what exciting things. You could either have some kind of excitement going downfield with Etienne, or you could even bring someone like Etienne around the back for an end around or a reverse. You've got the wide receivers. You could screen it. They love to slant in this offense, but they also take shots. So many opportunities, so much variety, so many possibilities. Really, I'm more excited about what Pederson is going to bring to this team than I think any coach for any team in the entire league right now.
I think that's a pretty good call. I mean, obviously we're close to it here, and so we have a vested interest, I think. But regardless of it's, again, more than anybody else in the league, I just think, what is he going to do? What's it look like? We kind of know what Doug Pederson is, but does it look the same? Took a year off. Does he have new wrinkles?
He's a creative guy.
And it's really not even really what his MO is. It's how does he utilize this roster?
Yeah, what tools does he have?
How does he utilize a great tool set in Trevor and then get the most out of all these weapons that they've added? And again, I'm not trying to oversell weapons. I'm sure there are other teams that feel better about their guys on the outside or the guys up front or their tight ends and the whole mix and match of all that. But I do continually pound home, and I said this to Maurice Jones-Drew yesterday when he joined us, maybe it's the quarterback that makes you feel better. Maybe it's the guy calling the plays that makes you feel better. But the Jags, at least on paper, have a lot of different ways to go with the football, and they can throw guys in motion. They can go 2-back set. They can go empty set. They can put 2 tight ends that both can catch the ball, and Dan Arnold and Evan Ingram. They can go 4 wide, and you feel okay about it. I mean, they can do a bunch of things. And Jamal Agnew, just flip him the ball, end arounds, reverses. What does he go in? Does he go into his bag of plays very deep? I don't think this is going to be just your run up the middle, try to get 4, run up the middle, try to get 3, convert on 3rd and 3. I think we're going to see a lot more creativity, and I also think this has to be really fun for Doug Pederson because he gets to play with it.
Yeah.
He must not sleep at night right now. I mean, they've already kind of put their game plan together. They probably already know the first 15 plays they're going to call, but to get to that point, he must not sleep because to me, that would be really fun.
Yeah, I think there are some people who don't like working with a blank slate, and some people, who need the guardrails, who need the guideline. I look at Doug as a guy who would prefer a blank canvas to one already written for him. But ultimately, you come to a team, you work with what you've got. Just seems like such a creative coach, especially, from his time with the Philadelphia Eagles, where you saw so much variety come out of that team, and they had maybe not the same weapons, but there were some similarities on offense. I've been looking at those teams, or at least at the Super Bowl team, a lot more recently in the last couple of weeks, ever since we talked about that Miles Sanders comp for Travis Etienne.
Which was an interesting one.
And I think there are a few of those on that team. And listen, I'm not alone here. So many people around the country, national media, are looking at the Jaguars going, this is the team. This is the team that was bad last year that is poised to take the step forward. They're not saying it about the Jets. They're not saying it about the Bears. They're looking at the Lions going, well, Dan Campbell's getting all these flowers for maybe he'll be coach of the year, but there's no evidence on the field. People still looking at the Lions like they're not going to be able to put it together. I think this team can be very interesting.
I think there are a lot of guys to buy into. There's a lot of reasons to buy into the Jags. I don't think that's fake. I don't think that's blind. I think that's real deal stuff.
Let me ask you this, because I got no doubt in my mind, if the Jaguars need 2 to 5 yards, They have multiple tools on this offense to get that done. But when you're first in goal, or even like first and 10 from the 15, like, how do you get into the end zone with this team?
That's a good question.
Because I'm not sure I see that.
That's a good question. Maybe when we ask Clay Harbor, who used to be in those red zone situations. He joins us next. Let's take a break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Clay Harbor scheduled to join us from 4 to 5. We're going to talk a lot of football around the NFL and, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's next on ESPN 690. I got to play some golf today, and you know what that means? The body hurts a little bit. If you've had a fantastic summer and still have joint pain, it's time to do something about it, folks. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Mortno. I want you to call QC Kinetics now. You've put it off long enough. It's time to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees and back and shoulders and hips. Use all those to play golf. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Regenerative medicine uses highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. All you have to do to get a free consultation is call QC Kinetics 904-274-5522. In Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522. Lots of people here have done this, and they are living life to the fullest, pain-free. Don't assume the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. Now in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra.
Celsius Essential Energy is Jacksonville's official energy drink of summer, and Jacksonville summers are fueled by Celsius. If you see ESPN 690 out and about this summer, come grab an ice-cold Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open. Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjacks.com.
Sometimes the mortgage process can be a tricky one, a dead end for some. Not with Carrington Mortgage Services. They have a team that will find a solution for you. That's what they do. That's what they are experts in, finding loan solutions for unconventional borrowers. If you're self-employed or a freelancer, if you have low credit scores, if you're an investor looking to use cash flow to qualify, Carrington Mortgage Services will find a loan for you. CarringtonMortgage.com. Carrington Mortgage Services, LLC, NMLS ID number 2600, Equal Housing Lender.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover Jacksonville, Porsche Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
A new era is here for Jaguars football. New championship-winning coach, new superstars, and new optimism. One consistent this fall is Tailgaters Parking will still be delivering the very best tailgating experience at the bank all season. Tailgaters Parking doesn't just talk a big game. They're right across the street from TIAA Bank Field. Offer clean, permanent restrooms, food options, a full liquor bar, and all parking spots are on a well-kept grass lot. Check out Tailgaters Parking at tailgatorsparking.com to reserve your spot today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Jets are turning to quarterback Joe Flacco as their starter for Sunday's season opener. He'll be their starter a couple of weeks after that as well. Zach Wilson, not yet ready to return from knee surgery, won't be available until week 4 at the earliest, according to coach Robert Saleh.
It's not worth the risk in terms of getting him out there and just making sure that there's the knee element, there's the mind element, there's the practice element, there's just a whole lot of things other than the knee. He hasn't had a setback. He looks fantastic. He still looks good. He feels good.
The Bills are taking care of one of quarterback Josh Allen's favorite targets. The team and tight end Dawson Knox agreed on a 4-year, $53 million extension, includes $31 million guaranteed, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Knox becomes one of the highest paid tight ends in the league. The Mets put co-ace Max Scherzer on the injured list because of irritation in his left side. The Mets do expect him to miss a start or two. Scherzer says the injury is not a significant one, and he'll miss days and not weeks because of it. Las Vegas Aces forward A'ja Wilson named WNBA MVP for the second time. She'd previously been named WNBA Defensive Player of the Year for this season.
Brought to you by Capital One Auto Navigator, where you can find a car, get pre-qualified instantly, and see your real monthly payment without impacting your credit score. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau.
Get it, 4 o'clock hour here on ESPN 690, and it's a game week in Jacksonville. It's a game week in Philadelphia. It's a game week in Chicago. And our buddy Clay Harbor has no idea which game he's supposed to watch. They're all at the same time. Clay Harbor joins us each and every Wednesday on ESPN 690, 4 o'clock until 5 o'clock. And we've got a locked in from the Windy City, I believe, here on this Wednesday. Tell us where you're at. You're all over the place all the time, but you got to be in Chicago is my assumption. And which game are you watching on Sunday?
Maybe he doesn't hear us. Let me go check on him.
You go check on him. He might not. We were talking to him in the commercial break, so I know he's there. So it was such a beautiful setup, too, for him. But I can do it again. I'm talented enough to bring that to him again. You just let me know when we have him, Aaron. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter. Casey Kurtz, by the way, on the road in Orlando today. He's heading to a soccer match down there. Maybe we get him talking a little soccer a little bit later on in the show. Football at 5 instead. One other thing I want to get to that is not football related. How about the Mets and the Braves? Whoa, baby. That is getting interesting as we get to September baseball. That's a fascinating watch. So we'll do that a little bit later on along the way. Talked in the first hour a lot about the offensive line, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jawaan Taylor wins the right tackle job. Ben Barch, the left guard job. And we don't probably talk enough about Ben, but I think Barch is a fascinating player over the years. They drafted him to develop him. They told us that right away, and I like when they tell us that. And now we get to kind of see it play out. He played 11 games, I think, last year. I thought he did some good things, but again, we're talking about a guard. Like, who the hell knows what a good guard is? I don't. And we'll find out Ben Barch is. It's noticeable when they're not good. That's when we know. All right, now we welcome in Clay Harbor, probably from the Windy City. Sorry for the little mishap there, but now you can hear us.
Blame it on me, man. I'm inexperienced. It's my fault.
You're doing a great job. You're in 2 different seats. Yesterday you were over here. Today you're over there. And Clay Harbor, I think, is in Chicago. What's happening, man?
I'm in Chicago, and they always say the more you can do. So, don't be hard on yourself. The more you can do. You're sitting in a couple different seats, so that's good. That's impressive. And, that's always a positive.
Well, not only the more you can do, kind of like play tight end and, well, if Chip Kelly uses you, rush the passer.
Well, outside linebacker.
Yeah, don't remind me, man. You guys are bringing up some old scars there about Chip Kelly.
You can tell.
And I know in Duval there's a couple old scars from last season from the other college coach trying to come into the NFL and, do things his own way. So, just bad ball on both ends.
Clay, we were just talking about this in the last segment. There's a lot people ask us all the time, right? And probably ask you. And I know you're affiliated with the Eagles, and also you live there in Chicago, so you do a lot of talk on the Bears as well. And they ask you these questions like, all right, so how do you think they're going to be? Like, what do you think they're going to do? Like, What's going to be the difference? Like, just all these questions. You get them in the grocery store, you get them wherever, at the ball field. And I have some common things that I've said this year. I think the Jags are a lot better. A lot better. I just don't know how much they've closed the gap on the rest of the league. And then the other thing I say is I know it was bad here last year with Urban Meyer, but I don't know what having Doug Pederson means in terms of wins and losses in that category. Like, okay, it was bad, but the Jags also weren't great on the field anyway. Like, even if it was okay, I don't think they were going to win like 8 games. How do you feel about that part of it? Like, how important is that culture? How important is breeding the confidence, not dealing with the distractions? And how does some of those things potentially equate to more wins for the Jags? Forget about the talent in the different team.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot better, and I agree with you that sometimes it's hard to tell. People want to know, and they want to know, hey, what's this team? How many wins is this team going to have? How much better are they? And it's hard to tell because obviously the Jaguars got better, but you'll be hard pressed to find a team in the NFL coming into this season that thinks, oh, we were just much better last year. We got worse. And you're not going to have it, and you're not going to know until the bullets start flying on Sundays. Preseason's great. You can tell, you can get some idea there, but this Sunday at 1 o'clock, that's when you're really going to tell what teams can step up. But I think Lawrence got better, and that's the number one place you look is your quarterback. How good is your quarterback? I think our quarterback's much better. I think we got some coaches that can coach a quarterback. Press Taylor, Doug Pederson, Jim Bob Cooter, all great quarterback coaches. Travis Etienne Jr., James Robinson, both healthy. I mean, that's as good as a running back tandem as I think we're going to find in the AFC. I mean, they'll be good this year. And then I like the improvement on the wide receiver core. I still don't think we have an elite wide receiver core. They're better. I don't think our tight ends are elite, but they're better. And then our offensive line, there's still some questions there, but I think they're better. I'm not much of a defensive guy, but looking at the defense, I think they're improved too. So I can honestly say I think the Jaguars will win more games this year. Now the question is how many? Are they going to be in the playoff hunt? Are they going to win 1 more, 2 more, 3 more? Time will tell.
Clay Harbor with us from Chicago each and every Wednesday on ESPN690. Clay, so from your experience in locker rooms, does the feeling of a week or the feeling of confidence always equal good play or bad play? Like, this team can be confident, or any team in the NFL, but then go out and lay an egg, can't they?
Yeah, confidence is huge, but I mean, there's been times where I've been on teams that have been really confident. You come out and you get beat. I've been on teams where sometimes, like, man, you're watching the tape and you're watching these guys, and you're like, this team is good, and then you come out and you're in the game the whole time. Maybe ball bounces one way, ball bounces another way. You win a game you didn't expect to. So any given Sunday, anybody can win. And that's a beautiful thing about the NFL. But confidence does translate. And obviously, a lot of these games are going to come down to the final quarter, to the final plays. And the NFL, it's the parity is crazy. The amount of equality between these teams and these players, they're all great players. So it's very small, the margin of error. So you're going to see some close games, and now it's going to come down to who's going to be able to perform at the end of the games. Who can do that? And I think the Jaguars got a good offense. They got a better defense. And this year, I think they'll be able to pull out some of those games they didn't last season.
Yeah, let's keep on that. I like the psychology of the game so much, and just in sports in general. And I don't think it's not as sexy to talk about. It's not as fun as stats and everything else that's right in front of you, because it's kind of this hidden deal. But one thing I've learned over 20 years of covering the NFL, and more specifically 15 years here in Jacksonville, is that people will say a lot, like, the difference between preseason and the regular season is you can't even quantify it. And then the difference between, quite frankly, the regular season and the postseason is another level and another step. Like, how distinct is that? Like, all the stuff that just took place for 6 weeks. I'm not saying it was worthless, but the intensity, the focus, the narrow-minded nature of it now this week in the building is extremely different, isn't it?
Oh, game week's much different. You're going through training camp. A lot of guys are competing to have a job. Some guys are competing to get more balls thrown their way to get more time on the field. And now you're focusing on the Commanders. You kind of know who's slotted where, the competitions are over. And now it's just you're slated in your spot, and now you got to focus on the Commanders. It's a different feeling for sure. Instead of competing against your teammates, now you're competing with your teammates to be the best you can be to beat this team. And I think even from a fan standpoint, but absolutely from a player standpoint, you're going in with a coach that's done it before. Doug Pederson is a heck of a leader. He's been there. He's played the Commanders a lot going back to his Philly days. This guy knows what he's doing, and he's a guy that you'll follow into battle. And he's seen it all, and Doug isn't going to get too high or too low during the course of a game, and that's something that I really like about Doug, is he always keeps that same demeanor. And I think that's going to help the Jags, down the stretch in the long run. I'm really excited to see how they come out against this Commander team.
Yeah, you get Mike Caldwell calling plays for the first time, defensive coordinator. I probably isn't something the players consume themselves with. They're like, hey, he's our coach. Like, who cares if he's never done it before? I mean, I would assume even the offensive guys, you said you're probably not paying too much attention to the defense, but I would think in the Jags locker room, there's some intrigue around the defense. You got the number 1 overall pick. You have Trayvon Walker. Obviously, you got a really good player in Josh Allen. You got this guy who's under the radar stud, I think, in Foye Oluokun, who you paid a lot of money. Devin Lloyd, we've only seen him for half of football, and that was in the last preseason game. And none of these guys on the defensive side have even played with him in a game yet.
And by the way, that was enough for the Jaguars to go, he's the starter.
Yeah, and they have named him the starter. And Chad Muma, by the way, really pushed that, and they still named him the starter. So I would think even in the tight end room, the quarterback room, or while you guys are getting some coaching on the sideline as an offense, there's got to be a big curiosity with this football team in particular about the defense. Wouldn't you think?
Absolutely. And you always got to have your eye on the defense and what they're doing. And obviously you have your specific unit. It's like units of of an ancient army or something. You got to focus on your cavalry and hope the infantry does their job and the archers do their job. So you got to make sure that you're all on the same page and you're all heading the same direction. But I think that the offense and the defense this year just commands a lot more confidence. I like Devin Lloyd. I know we didn't get to see much of him, but I'm glad they named him the starter. We saw some athletic ability. The guy loves contact. I'm really looking forward to see Josh Allen and obviously, the guy that most everybody's looking forward to see is Trayvon Walker. Hopefully he can get some pressure, stop the run this week, and I think he will. I think Andre Cisco, Shaquille Griffin will have big years this year and do a great job. So I really like this defense, and I think they're going to put the offense in a lot better positions, and hopefully they get few more turnovers this year. The Jags were near the bottom of the entire league last year in interceptions. I think this year with some new faces back there, they're going to get the ball and get some turnovers and get the Jags in a little bit better field position, when the offense takes the field.
With a roster like this that you're trying to reconstruct so heavily in an offseason, much less multiple off seasons, we're doing a lot of talk about position groups because, you want to see some progress there amongst them. You've already said, and I don't think anyone disagrees with you, we're not there yet in terms of an elite position group when it comes to the wide receiver. But I'm looking at this roster, and maybe not the top position group on the team, but they're kind of stepping up close to it. Who do you think is the best position group on the team? Because for me, it's almost as if it's a hybrid group. It's not necessarily, for me, defensive ends or linebackers, but the pass rushing group seems to be the one with the biggest leg up going into the season.
Yeah, so I do like the receiver core. I think that, Marvin Jones still's got some gas in the tank. We already talked about his numbers last time we're on. He's approaching some historic career numbers.
That was a good interview you did, by the way, with Marvin. That was good.
Oh, yeah, appreciate that, Brent. Appreciate that. That means a lot. And I think Zay Jones is going to pop. Watching him in camp, this guy is fast. This guy's a second-round draft pick for a reason, had a lot of catches in his career. I think Zay Jones is good. And Christian Kirk, they gave him all that money for a reason. Guy looks good. The guy is a steady player. He can catch the football. He runs solid routes. So, solid group. There's not a guy that's just going to go out there, game-breaking dude in that group, though. And sometimes that's what you want out there as a receiver. And then you look at running back. I think they have, obviously they're young, and not right now because ETN hasn't played much. James Robinson's coming back from injury. But as the season progresses, I think those two guys are going to be two guys that the offense and the whole team can kind of just rely on. These guys can put the team on their back. Let's run the ball early. Let's get some screens to ETN. Let's get him on some mismatches on the middle linebacker, on the outside linebacker, on some safeties, and let's run with these guys. I think as we progress in the season, these guys get more and more healthy and they build more confidence that this running back group, ETN, James Robinson, even Snoop Connor getting some carries in there, are going to be the best group on the offense as far as that side of the ball. And then I do love the defensive line. I think Walker and Allen and, a guy that I think is one of the best additions so far this year, and he's one of my picks to sneak and have a huge year this year, is Arden Key.
You sound like Brent.
We've seen this guy just completely, ruin some of these preseason games in a third down. This guy can play. Looking at his pass rush ability, this guy, Brent can get better pressure on the quarterback. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's actually, that's a really good call, and something, because there's 2 weeks between the last regular preseason game and the regular season game, and then also because they didn't play in that game, a lot of people, so you almost forget about how good Arden Key was for a couple weeks this preseason, and him and Smoot, by the way. So the depth of play in that defensive front seems to be pretty strong and fun to watch, and they got a lot of athletes there too, man. Good-looking NFL athletes, which I always like, Aaron.
So, Brent, if you had to choose between that defensive front, we'll call it the front, and we're really just talking about all the guys running
seven,
after. We're talking about all the guys running after the quarterback. If you had to compare, at least in terms of trajectory, or maybe what you see happening throughout the season, the defensive front versus that running back room, because I think we're all in unison here. That running back room has a ability to be really dangerous. Who do you think is worth more to this team at the end of this season for the work they did?
That's a pretty good call. Here's the problem I have with the running back room, and this is it's coming from the owner of the Sunshine and Rainbows Club. But I just feel like I have a hard time signing off that they're going to be great, because I've never seen Travis Etienne play a real down of football in the NFL.
Yeah, man.
And James Robinson is coming off a significant injury, and he's already outperformed anything anyone would ever have imagined. And that's not to say he can't do it again, and that's not to say Etienne isn't going to be worthy of the first-round pick and everything we think he can be. I just don't know. I try to talk in stuff that I know I can see there's a trend. There's a lot of hope there. And that's why I say in that room, the floor-to-ceiling potential of the running back room is as big as I've ever seen a group in covering the Jacksonville Jaguars in 15 years. I agree with Clay. It could be the best tandem in the AFC.
Yeah.
It also could really not deliver what we hope it's going to deliver. And if it doesn't, then what?
Yeah.
Because Snoop Connor and company haven't really shown us a lot. You don't want to be relying on your third and fourth running backs, is my point.
Of course not.
So I would probably buy more on the front seven of this, because it's more of a known commodity and it's a deeper commodity. So I think I would rely more on that. But Clay, I'll bring you back in on the offensive part of the running backs. What's interesting to me is we talk backs, and we all believe this, and it's a great conversation. And I don't want people to think I think they're going to be bad. No, that's not the case. I have a lot of hope, and there's a lot of reason to believe they can be good. It's just an unknown if we're being real. The crazy thing to me is, if you look at Doug Pederson as an offensive guy, Clay, he's a guy that throws the football. Yet everybody still talks about the running backs. He's going to run it. He's going to get it in their hands. I think it's a wild thing that when you think throwing the football, we think outside guys. It's not necessarily the case with Doug Pederson.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug likes to throw the football. He's a quarterback. Those guys can't help themselves.
He really can't.
They love to call passes, man. This guy's he's an old school quarterback, played 10 years in the league, and that's what he does. But I think when I say the running backs be, what they can be, I think part of that is in that pass game. I think that I think Etienne would be huge in that pass game. I think Doug knows that. I predicted Etienne to have around 1,500 all-purpose yards, somewhere around 700 rushing, 700 receiving. I know I'm not a math major. That only puts me at 1,400 yards. But
close enough.
Yeah, close enough. But I think that's part of it. I think the fact that this guy, you just watch him go, hey, he can catch the ball really well, and he's quick. A guy like that can catch the ball really well, and he's not scared to he prefers to run outside, but he can run between the tackles. I think he's going to be a workhorse for him. And obviously, like you said, he's a first-round draft pick, yes, but he hasn't played a down of football on an NFL Sunday. as far as in the regular season. And that's a different animal. It's not the preseason anymore. They got a solid defense coming in the Commanders. But I think that in the pass game and the run game, both of them, I know Doug likes to pass the ball instead of handing it off to him. He might throw him a screen. Same thing, right? So I think he will get a lot of touches and get a lot of carries in that sense. And that's where I'm looking for, because I am going to play some fantasy football with you guys. So
yes, you are.
He's high on my list of running backs.
Don't give away your draft board now.
Shut up, Fred. Let him give away the draft board.
Hey, Clay Harbor with us here on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter. You had two bold predictions yesterday, and so quick before we go to break, 1,500 yards for ETN or 4,000 yards and 30 touchdown passes for Trevor Lawrence. Which one do you feel more strongly about?
I think Trevor's going to get 4,000 yards for sure and 30 touchdowns. But I also think Travis will get close. If he stays healthy, he's going to reach both those marks. So I feel confident with both of them.
Right, so they're not just bold but confident predictions. I agree with you on the 4,000 yards, by the way. It's kind of like what everybody does. Even last year, it didn't feel like it, but he had 36 or 3,700 yards passing. So, but the touchdowns would be a remarkable upside. The Jags are doing well if he were to get the 30 touchdowns. I mean, that would be tremendous. All right, we take a break. More with Clay Harbor. Let's go around the NFL a little bit as we enter this opening week, including some thoughts on Chicago and Philly, who we know you're pretty close and tied into. But the other teams and big games like tomorrow night's opener in the NFL, we'll get to that with Clay Harbor when we return on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Hot and humid today under partly sunny skies with an isolated to widely scattered afternoon thunderstorm. Temperatures reaching the mid-90s, dropping into the low to mid-70s tonight. Partly sunny tomorrow. Scattered afternoon storms start to increase with a high near 90. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys. No markups, no retail gains, and never a commission.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 904-664-8214.
It's going to be a busy month at Best Bet Orange Park. The Greater Orange Park Open Tournament is back. This $500 no-limit hold'em tournament will be happening on Saturday, September 24th, with $120 satellites starting on September 21st. With plenty of parking and a safe and friendly environment, you'll see why Best Bet Orange Park was awarded the Best of Play in event, entertainment, and sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekend. Best Bet Orange Park.
Well, that ding-dong doorbell company is at it again, admitting to giving out customers video footage over 11 times without the customer's knowledge or consent. This is outrageous. It's inexcusable. It's a breach of your privacy, freedom, and security. When a security company teams up with big tech companies, it means a privacy invasion of your home. It means your information is being sold and distributed without your knowledge. SafeTouch is on your side. SafeTouch equipment is installed by pros. SafeTouch doesn't collaborate with any big tech company. SafeTouch keeps your family secure without invading your privacy. SafeTouch allows you complete control of all your video footage and security, and you can be sure with SafeTouch that your doorbell and camera footage is safe and controlled by you and only you. Choose SafeTouch to fight crime and keep your privacy at the same time. Call SafeTouch today and check out what real security is all about and get free installation when you do. SafeTouch Security, doing what others can't for over 35 years. Call 888-723-8682 or visit safetouch.com. State license EF2.
Never paint your house again.
Hey Jay, at Rhino Shield we talk about protecting your home from the harsh Florida weather because we have seen what happens to those cracks when they get ignored.
Stucco cracks are more than just superficial. Without repair, they can allow water to get into the walls, causing water damage, mold, and even wood rot.
And Jay, some of our customers have been tied up in litigation for up to 4 years trying to be made whole again.
Rhino Shield your home now before you have to go to litigation, and you'll never have to paint again.
And after 22 years in business, our customers continue to trust us to protect and beautify their homes with the most scientifically advanced coating.
With our help, you can have pride in your home again. Call us for 1 year same as cash, 25% off, and a 25-year warranty.
Call 904-519-5055 or visit us at rhinoshieldjacks.com. And remember, with Rhino Shield, you'll never have to paint again.
Rhino Shield.
Ready to swoop in the fall of 2022? The UNF Ospreys are ready with a lot of momentum on campus. New improvements at UNF Arena with basketball season right around the corner and tickets already on sale. The fall schedule underway in volleyball and men's and women's soccer, also men's and women's cross country. Get the latest news, schedules, results, and information on tickets for all things Ospreys at UNFOspreys.com. Join the Osprey Club, attend a game or a match. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida at UNFOspreys.com. Sometimes the mortgage process can be a tricky one, a dead end for some. Not with Carrington Mortgage Services. They have a team that will find a solution for you. That's what they do. That's what they are experts in, finding loan solutions for unconventional borrowers. If you're self-employed or a freelancer, if you have low credit scores, if you're an investor looking to use cash flow to qualify, Carrington Mortgage Services will find a loan for you. CarringtonMortgage.com. Carrington Mortgage Services, LLC, NMLS ID number 2600, Equal Housing Lender.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. Welcome back on a Wednesday, 4 o'clock hour. That means Clay Harbor's hour here on ESPN 690. He owns the whole hour. Simple as that. He obviously owns a lot of different clothes, too, because as you can tell from our Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Aaron Schachter finding some of the best photos of Clay. And I wanted to get your thoughts on these. I told you in break, take a look, dissect them. The Indiana U, was that back on campus? Even though you didn't go to Indiana, but I mean, were you on campus?
I think you re-enrolled, didn't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, Brent apparently doesn't really pay much attention to me, man, because Shocking. I told him that I'm going back to business school to get my MBA.
That's right.
At Telly School of Business, which is an Indiana business school. So, they sent me a T-shirt once I got accepted to Indiana Business School, Brent, which I might add is a top 15 ranked business school in the country. So I'm learning a lot right now. I had a couple tests last night and I did pretty well. So it's going great.
All right, wait, stop. Let's stop there because first of all, now that you jog my memory, I do remember that because what I wanted to do is I want to get like a question from business school test. Like, can you give us an example? I'm putting you on the spot here, but like people say business, like I think business, right? People are like, hey, I'm going to major in business.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody says that, right? I mean, you know how many people go major in business? It's pretty generic to me, it feels like.
Yeah.
Like in my world, they major in communications. It can mean like a million different things.
When I hear someone's majoring in business, it sounds to me like they're tired of working for other people.
Well, and that's fair too, right? I mean, you're your own entity. I get it. And then I actually have always said, I wish I took a business class or two, especially now at this stage. I think it could have come in handy.
I think so too.
But then I've heard others say, hey, it's really hard. Like there are some classes that are really, really hard in business. So is that true, Clay, from what you've experienced so far, even though it sounds like you aced the test?
Oh, they're very hard, honestly, classes. And I mean, I've been out of school for a while, so I'm in an information technology course, right? Information technology class. And I'm not a big tech guy. Like I can barely turn on a computer sometimes. Like it is not, I can lift a lot of weights. I can run a dig route, and I can block a defensive end.
You need me to
Technology
pick up
is
that
not one of-
computer? I'm good, but you need me to turn it on. We got
Yeah.
problems.
So the information technology, you're basically talking about, you're reading a bunch of articles from Harvard Business Review, and we talk about ways that you can implement certain strategies in tech. How can you use technological strategies and whatnot? You just have to read these long articles and then basically just give your thoughts on them. And obviously there's more to it than that, but that's what we're doing right now in my information tech class. And I got a game and theory class, which is the game theory. So it's basically how businesses react to each other. And there's something you could say about that in the NFL. It's like game theory, because it's how businesses react to each other. One team does this, and how do you react to it? Then how do they react to you doing that? And it's just basically you're talking about all the different ways that you can basically get a head up on the competition as far as in business strategy. A lot of things I never thought of.
Aaron or Clay, how many people sign up for that class and think they're like getting into Fortnite?
Man, it's there's quite a few, honestly. Some of these guys are way too excited to be here. I'll tell you that. These group projects.
Here's what I never understand, right? Like Clay's done pretty well for himself on The Bachelorette and all these other things, along with a good NFL career. Why the hell go back to school?
Man, it's got years to live. He's trying to earn.
Yeah. So that's what honestly, a lot of my friends give me the same thing. They're like, why are you going back to school? You know, you made X amount of dollars, like you made $10 million NFL. You
Look at all these people counting your money, man. Hands in your pockets, telling you what you make.
Yeah, the crazy part is all that's public information, so they know. And we talk about investments and stuff, so we know our own portfolios and everything. Like, why are you going back to school? For me, I just like to have a project going on. I like to do something. I feel like I'm progressing, you know, just to keep getting better and bettering myself. It's just like the Jaguars. You know, they just keep getting better. And before you know it, they're going to be on top of the AFC South.
Well, so hopefully you go through business school faster than it's taken the Jags to get better.
Oh, come on. I think this year we might see a breakthrough, though. I think we got Doug Pederson, my old quarterback coach for the Philadelphia Eagles back in the day. Never would have thought that I'd be sitting here talking about Doug as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Did you not envision that for him when you worked with him, or at least worked around him? Did you not see him maybe one day as a head coach?
You could definitely see him as a head coach, but it's weird because at that point, when you're talking to these guys as like a position coach, like a quarterback coach, or say Matt Nagy was our quality control guy, you couldn't be on the staff at any lower position than Matt Nagy was. He was the bottom of the barrel. And to see him as an NFL head coach to me was crazy, because I still saw him in that light when he was a quality control guy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Nagy, we need to go out and throw some passes. Like, let's go. Like, throw me 100 passes before practice, in the middle of practice. I'm like, Nags, let's go. Let's go to the other field. Throw me some balls. I want to catch some low balls or something. And now the fact that these guys are head coaches and offensive coordinators, it's a little odd for me, because you see them in that light is what you knew them.
That's
like,
a non-sports.
I
was going to say it's a non-sports thing too, where you work at a business, maybe someone's your coworker and then they get a promotion, or maybe you're the one getting the promotion. Everyone keeps looking at each other like it's still the same coworker situation, but it's not necessarily the case when you're responsible for them as employees. Brent, I think you actually went through this, like a decade ago.
Yeah, probably. By the way, Bears fans all over the place thought it was crazy, too, that Matt Nagy was the head coach. Right? I mean, sorry, Matt. Don't even know you, but that was a little hanging fruit. That was a softball right there.
Swing, why not?
Let's. The other pictures, by the way, that are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, we know the football ones, but you look like, I don't know, where are you in, like, let me throw out a good country here. Hold on. Monaco.
I thought it was Italy, like the Italian countryside.
You guys are close, but that's Barcelona right there.
Barcelona.
It's Barcelona.
That's
it's
right.
Not Barcelona, it's Barcelona.
Yeah.
It's like Ibiza.
That's
Ibiza.
right.
It's not
Look at us. We're cultured, Clay. This guy Brent.
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just phonetically reading everything, like some schmo off the street.
So it was Barcelona, or whatever you said?
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Was it a good place? Should I visit?
Oh, Barcelona is great, but honestly, Barcelona, I probably saw a different Barcelona than you did. I'm a single man, and I went with my college friends.
Yes.
So we did a different type of tourist there. We went to some bars, some clubs. And, we met some beautiful Spanish women out there. And
was the language a barrier? Did you guys learn Spanish to go out there, or maybe you found some English speaking?
No, he
folks?
obviously took off his shirt, and that was
the
only language barrier. No
Honestly,
more barrier.
Yeah, there's only one language of love, guys. If you can speak it, you can speak it.
Let me ask you this.
By the way, I got plenty of time to get single again, too. I mean, Barcelona's not going anywhere.
Wait, Clay, was this before or after you had your big TV debut?
It was after, but the thing
goodness.
is, overseas, nobody knows American TV shows.
Really? So it's just a waste.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're not getting any Bachelor fans over there if that's what you're looking for. So
you're wasting your money going to Europe. You got to stay here in the States where you can take advantage of that.
All right, I don't know. I don't know where Aaron found the other picture, but where were you in that? In the
on stage?
Blazer.
On stage, yeah. No, on stage. I do. I guess Brent just doesn't really pay attention to me when I talk to him.
I'm just trying to. I'm throwing some softballs for the people listening. I want to know where this is coming from.
In the chat on YouTube, I think it might be Stuart because Marcel usually doesn't jump in there on the chat. But in the chat, Action Sports Jacks has commented, "Brent not listening? Shocker."
It's zoned out.
Well, that was at a speech. I've been doing some speaking events. I have 2 speaking events this week, and I do some motivational speeches in that picture. That was to the University of Missouri, and I went to Missouri State, but that was to the University of Missouri Athletic Department. But I got a couple speeches coming up this week, and I do a bunch of different topics, but typically on habits, routine, and discipline is talking about my story, how I went from how I made the NFL and all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. You actually, the week you were here for camp, you had just talked, I think, to Missouri State.
Yep, I just did that I'm actually going back to Missouri State. Got another gig out there. I'm heading to Peoria tomorrow in Peoria, Illinois, to do a speech to a school board.
There you go. Who's listening now? See that?
Yeah, okay, Brent. Sorry, I was giving you a hard time, man.
I didn't see the microphone in that picture. I just saw the suit. So I thought maybe you could have been modeling.
Well, he was wearing like a Britney Spears small little straw microphone. But Clay, you talk about giving speeches on what were some of those topics you threw out again? I'm sorry.
Habits, routines,
and discipline. Yeah. But then I watched, this
not
clip.
Eating donuts, Aaron. Not eating
first
donuts.
First of all, it's a turnover today, Brent, not a donut. Second of all, then I watched the clip we put up today, and you're talking about, this adversity that you found yourself in the middle of in that Eagles locker room. And I'm saying, and it reminds me actually of a tweet that I brought to the show a couple of weeks ago from Willie Anderson, the great offensive lineman, who is telling people, all these young kids. I think he was specifically talking about Alex Leatherwood, but he didn't name him by name. Said all these guys under the age of 25 on the offensive line getting cut by teams. You got to remember, when you make it to the NFL, these coaches aren't going to teach you how to be a pro. They're going to scheme for whatever team we're playing next. You tell your story about what happened to you in that Eagles locker room. It's like, it is no given when you're on the team that things are going to go your way. You still have to put in all that work. And even then, something from outside can come in and just turn that whole thing upside down. Do you work that kind of stuff into those talks or no?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to control what you can control. And that's just to focus on your daily routine. My biggest thing is, when you go to bed at night, you got to have a plan for the next day. And people at these speeches, when they bring you in to talk, they're obviously people that want to make a change and want to improve. What I explain to them is improvement isn't one transcendent moment that is you're just going to improve 100%.
It's not binary, on and off. It's not like that, yeah.
It's not like that. It's improvement. It's your habits, it's your routine, and your discipline. If you get better 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. So it's all about your daily improvements and improving slowly but surely, and having discipline, knowing your why, having a solid routine, and things like that. And that's why in the NFL, it's hard for fans sometimes. They expect these huge improvements, and they got to realize that sometimes, it's small and incremental, and then eventually you'll have a team that's a playoff contender and that can contend for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, small victories, and those things mean a lot inside a building. By the way, if you need any help crafting your next speech, I certainly can probably do it. I have to work with Aaron and Casey and Stuart and Marcel, so I've got plenty of experience.
In adversity.
And
frustration.
to work with. Hey, let's talk a little more football, and then we get you for one more segment to a break in a moment. But tomorrow's game, how good is this? How good are these teams, or do you expect a little bit of a fallback to kick off the season? Not in tomorrow's game in particular, but I'm talking the long run. Can the Rams repeat? Are the Bills as good as everybody says without Dable? I have a concern about that, Clay. I'm not sure. I wonder if Josh Allen is ready to do this, not on his own, but in transition. Will he be as spectacular as we expect?
I think so. I think this guy, I mean, if you watched his last game last season, when they were playing against the Chiefs, and that was honestly one of the best football games I've ever seen in my life. And you look at Josh Allen's numbers, his completion percentage isn't out of this world. He completed about 63% of his passes, had 4,400 yards. But you look at 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 92 rating. But, the thing that you got to realize with Josh Allen is this big boy can move. Yeah, he is a dual threat quarterback. For a guy his size, it's incredible. He had almost 800 yards rushing last year with 6 touchdowns. This guy was the second leading rusher on his team. He is massive. I've seen him in person one time. He has to be about 6'6", 240 pounds. This guy's a quarterback. And for you to tackle this guy all game and to see him running downhill thinking, okay, at least he might slide, he's probably not going to slide. You're probably going to have to go low on this guy to tackle him.
At 240 pounds, yeah, man.
He is huge. And then I like the running back, Singletary, Devin Singletary. I think Saad, I think he's going to have a big year. He's only 25 years old. And they got a great receiving core this year, too. Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, or not Cole Beasley anymore. He's a free agent.
And picked up Jamison Crowder to replace him, though.
Yeah. And Dawson Knox, he's been in the news recently.
Yeah, just got a 4-year deal.
New extension.
Just got a nice new contract. So I think he's got some weapons, man, and that offense is good.
I just want you guys to know. I think, I'm not telling you that the Bills are going to be all of a sudden 7-10. I just think look for a little bit of a regression of what people think in the early part of this year. Because I think losing that coordinator is king. We talk about continuity so much. I don't know. I think that's going to hurt them a little bit. I'm not saying the new stuff around them is bad. They'll probably figure it out and watch them ramp up toward the end of the year. And heck, they might be good enough to win it all by the end. But I think they're going to surprise some people with some of the maybe more early struggles than people think. That's my bold prediction.
You're taking the Rams.
Yeah, and I don't love back-to-back kind of champ stuff, and I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I think they'll come out strong tomorrow. I think the Rams are pretty darn good. They can just roll right into it. But somewhere along the line, this year won't go as well as last year for the Rams. I'm not predicting the Rams to win it all again.
It's tough to repeat.
Yeah, really, really hard. So, all right, more with Clay Harbor coming up. One more segment. Let's touch on some more around the NFL, and then maybe one more quick note or two on the Jags before we finish up this 4 o'clock hour. Each and every Wednesday, Clay Harbor on ESPN 690.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
When you look at a schedule, it reveals more than even the schedule what you really think about that team. Bad teams, their schedules always look brutal because they're no good, so you don't think they're going to win many games. Good teams, you look at the schedule, it's not so bad because they're favored in a lot of those games. I guess I would also take the under on the Jets, but just. I think 5.5 games is right. I'll take the under.
Key, J, and Max, followed by Greeny. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain.
QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Hi, this is Keith Gurr, president of America Window Products. We are Jacksonville's oldest replacement window company. We have been providing excellent service for over 38 years and still have an A+ rating. At America Window Products, we have helped over 36,000 homeowners, and we don't use subcontractors. Right now, we're offering a free installation on 6 or more windows, as well as a free energy package. Go to AmericanWindowProducts.com and click for an estimate. That's AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, we are the window professionals.
If you've been injured on the job and are not receiving the benefits you're entitled to, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000, and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
A new era is here for Jaguars football. New championship-winning coach, new superstars, and new optimism. One consistent this fall is Tailgaters Parking will still be delivering the very best tailgating experience at the bank all season. Tailgaters Parking doesn't just talk a big game. They're right across the street from TIAA Bank Field. Offer clean, permanent restrooms, food options, a full liquor bar, and all parking spots are on a well-kept grass lot. Check out Tailgaters Parking at tailgatorsparking.com to reserve your spot today.
If you want to hit the road this summer in a fuel-efficient ride that's just right for the journey ahead, then listen up, because you need to rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. If you've tried to rent lately, then you know rental companies are short on inventory, but not our friends over at Arlington Toyota Rent-A-Car. Arlington has a whole lot of rental stock ready to rent at a great price. Plus, renting a Toyota is the best way to try it before you buy it. 2022 models to rent. Just go to arlington.com, reserve your rental, and discover just how good Toyota Rent-A-Car can be.
Celsius Essential Energy is Jacksonville's official energy drink of summer, and Jacksonville summers are fueled by Celsius. If you see ESPN690 out and about this summer, come grab an ice-cold Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
What's the room again?
1240, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside?
I'm tired. Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
You can't get much for $5 these days. Unless you go to Wendy's for a $5 biggie bag. Get your choice of double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken BLT. Plus 4-piece nugs, fries, and a drink. All for just $5. That was smooth, wasn't it? That's how you're gonna feel when you get that biggie bag at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes 4-piece nuggets, small soft drink, and small fry. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
When you download the Home Depot app, taking on big or small projects starts with a tap. It's your pocket-sized toolbox for getting more done. Image Search helps you find what you need with a snap. Store Mode pinpoints exactly where to go to get what you want while you're at our store. Or just tap to arrange for easy curbside pickup, all from the palm of your hand. It's the app that's made for doing. The Home Depot app. How doers get more done.
Let's Scoreboard Show every Friday night at 9 p.m. on ESPN 690. Join Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and the Hall of Famer Kevin Sullivan for scores, analysis, interviews, and live video of games on the ESPN 690 social media platforms.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 690. We've got about a few more minutes with Clay Harbor. We'll let you go in 6 or 7 minutes. Clay from Chicago joining us, talking about the Jags mostly, a little about the NFL, giving us motivational speaking as well. Aaron Schachter here on ESPN 690 on a Wednesday as well. Casey Kurtz will join us again tomorrow. All right, let's go around the NFL real quick. And before I get to Chicago and Philly, which I know you know very well, and again, you're with us each and every week, so we're going to talk, if you get some Eagles fans out there, get ready for this hour because you're going to love hearing what Clay has to say. And then also Chicago fans. He lives right there and talks about the Bears a bunch. But I want to start with some of the news today. And this is Aaron. This is your team now. Yeah, Zach Wilson. There was a little bit of sliver of hope for Jets fans that Wilson would be ready for week 1 or if not, maybe 2. Now it's looking like week 4, which was the original plan, by the way. And so, Clay, Joe Flacco against the Ravens. Joe Flacco the first few weeks. I mean, are the Jets sitting on a terrible start because of their quarterback situation?
I think the Jets are going to have a better start with Joe Flacco than they would. Why do people think Joe Flacco is some slouch all of a sudden? I know his last year in Baltimore, wasn't great, and I know he tried to play with Denver and didn't have a great career there. But I mean, this guy's he's a veteran.
He's 37.
He could still hit a pass, though. And on the Jets, you don't need to go downfield. You hit him right over the middle. Let's go.
I know a 45-year-old that's still getting the job done pretty well.
Joe Flacco, Tom Brady, same guy. Let's go. Same guy. But, Brett, it's not just the Ravens staring the Jets in the face. It's the Ravens, the Browns, but still, Browns versus the Jets. The Browns are going to win. The Bengals, the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Packers, the Broncos. I mean, it does not get easy quickly on that schedule. So no matter who's under center, the Jets are going to have a rough time.
I think Flacco's going to surprise some people, especially you two over there, making fun of his 37-year-old age here. But I think Flacco can still play. The guy's a solid. He's not a great quarterback, but I mean, career-wise, he's a solid guy. He's
a very good quarterback, and he had a great camp. And he certainly has looked better than Zach Wilson has looked. No one's going to debate you on that.
He's got 37-year-old legs.
Yeah. And by the way, an offensive line where nothing should be taken for granted.
Yeah. He has experience. Yeah, that's the most important thing at the quarterback position, your experience. And I think if we've seen anything, you can see these aging quarterbacks like Rodgers, Tom Brady, these guys are still playing, getting it done. Tom Brady can move. I mean, he's not moving much. So he's still getting the job done. So I think Flacco can surprise some people.
Jets fans will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, I love Clay likes the Jets against the Ravens. Bring it.
I was in like this survivor pool, and I was talking to my kid yesterday, Clay, and you're going to like this, and all your Bears fans will like this. But I was like, hey, what about San Francisco? They're playing Chicago. Like, I don't know, man. I think Chicago might surprise. They're not going to be as bad as everybody says they are. That's a tie set. And so
he's trying to play games with you, I think.
I don't know. I mean, Clay, I know you're bullish. Listen, I didn't know I could have got you into my Sunshine and Rainbows Club years ago when you were in the locker room. But I know you're bullish on the Bears too, aren't you?
I mean, here's the thing. Compared to what the national media thinks they are, yes.
All right.
I think they're going to be a competitive team. Like Sports Illustrated has the Bears winning 3 games this year. It's not hard to be bullish when the media is saying you're going to win 3 to 4 games this season, and you have Mike Martz saying you're going to be the worst offense in the history of the NFL, talking about the 0-16 Lions. So when I'm defending the Bears, I'm not saying the Bears are even going to make the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the Bears are going to be a competitive team. They can win 7 games this year, maybe 8 games this year, and they're going to be better than people think. I think the national media has them at 3 to 4 wins with the worst offensive line and the worst offense in the league. I went to training camp. I played a lot of football in my day. Played 8 years in the NFL. You guys even tried to cheat me out of 1 or 2 of my years. I was there.
That was Weber.
And I've seen a lot of
really
balls.
Threw him under the bus there, didn't you, Brett?
Yeah. So I'm just saying they're not going to make the playoffs. I'll say that. I'm sorry, Chicago. I love the Bears. They're not going to make the playoffs this year, but they will be competitive, and they're not going to win just 3 games this season. They'll pull out 6, 7, 8 wins.
Well, for them to pull out 8 wins, they'd have to sweep the Lions, which you clearly believe they will do. They also have to sweep the Falcons, which you clearly think they'll do.
Not the Falcons. They wouldn't sweep them.
The Vikings. Wait,
the Vikings, I think, are better than the Packers this year.
Yeah, they're not going to sweep the Vikings or the Packers.
Well, this is the point, right? Like, the schedule, from what I'm seeing, doesn't really scream 8 wins to me, but I see where you're coming from with more than 3. I mean, they could beat the Giants. They can beat the Commanders.
Texans.
They can beat the Texans. They can beat the Falcons. They play the Falcons in November. Right there is 4 wins.
And they got the Lions, the Falcons, the Jets. To Clay's point, I mean, the Lions, the Falcons, the Jets, the Commanders, the Giants, the Texans. That's 6 games that are winnable. Not say you're going to win all of them. But, I mean, again, on paper, you feel pretty good about that. And they got the Lions again, so that's 7. And now they're not going to win all 7 of those games that I just mentioned.
I hear Clay, I hear you talking about possibly 8 wins for the Bears. I'm like, you sound like me dreaming of 8 wins for my Jets. I don't know if it's actually going to come to fruition.
Well,
you guys act like the Patriots are the Patriots of old.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, but I'm not sure Chicago's in their class yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Dolphins aren't going to be great, but I'm not sure that the Bears can beat them.
I think the Dolphins will be pretty. They got some weapons, man. I think Tua is better than a lot of people think he is. I mean, they gave this guy a tough shot here. He's got a lot of weapons around him now. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki. You're gonna have some good numbers, and I think your team's gonna do a pretty good job. I mean, I could probably go in there and play quarterback and throw a couple touchdown passes.
All right, hey, we got to say bye to you, but real quick for the Eagles fans, and we'll talk more about them next week. Are they Super Bowl good in your opinion?
We're gonna see come Sunday, but I think that they are gonna win the NFC East hands down.
Yes.
Super Bowl good. There's some solid teams in the NFC, but I think they're right up there. With the Buccaneers. I mean, we'll see.
I'm with you, Clay. I think they got the NFC East.
Well, that's a good way to punctuate the show if you're an Eagles fan. I still think Dallas is going to win the East, but we'll find out if that happens. Clay Harbor, thanks for joining us, man. We'll do it again next Wednesday. Enjoy the weekend of football, week 1 of the NFL regular season. Have a good week, man.
Appreciate you guys having me on. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, that is Clay Harbor, former Jags tight end, former Eagles tight end, inspirational, motivational speaker. See him in the weight room. See him in Barcelona. And hear him on ESPN 690. We'll be right back. Football at 5 coming up next.
Americans for Prosperity is working to reposition Florida as the best state for K-12 education. We are hosting an event to teach families how universal education savings accounts can transform education for the benefit of students, families, and their teachers. Join us Saturday, September 17th for a Town Hall and Educational Options Expo. The event will be held at River City Science Academy from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Visit empowerededfl.com for more details and to register for the event. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, I'm Mike Holmes, professional contractor and TV host. I love helping people, but when it came to improving the water in my own home, I needed help and turned to the water experts at Connecticut to make it right. My water was causing visible problems throughout my home, and it got me thinking about the problems I couldn't see. Protecting my water using appliances and pipes, preventing stains and hardness buildup, and having clean, great-tasting drinking water are all important to me. But choosing the right water treatment equipment can be tricky. That's where Connecticut comes in. A Connecticut water expert will test your water for free and recommend the system that fits your needs and budget. Improve the quality of your water and your life with the Connecticut water treatment system. I'm so glad I did.
This year, CGC Water Treatment is celebrating 75 years in business. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com for your free assessment. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Who's monitoring your security system? Do you even know? What if I told you you were being monitored in someone's house? Can you imagine someone working from home with all your information? Your family's security is dependent on how fast a worker responds to your alarm from their house. Unbelievable, right? Think again, because the largest company in America is doing just that. And pay attention to their ads. They now have teamed up with big tech. There goes your information and privacy. Plus, you're possibly being monitored from someone's home. Now you know why I have a Safe Touch home security system. The Safe Touch Monitoring Center is right here and fully staffed at their disaster-resistant monitoring station. Have you driven by the other guy's monitoring center? Don't bother. It's empty. Call now and find out what makes the Safe Touch 5-star security and surveillance system so outstanding, and right now get free installation. Don't just assume your family is safe. Know they are safe with Safe Touch Security. Call 888-723-8682 or visit safetouch.com. State license EF233.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open.
Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjacks.com.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Whether you're working in an office or remote, Staples has your tech.
New AirPods so I can turn up the music and tune out distractions.
Staples has your tech.
A Wi-Fi extender for faster downloads?
A portable keyboard so I can work from anywhere.
Staples has you covered with tech solutions and accessories, from the latest laptops to networking solutions. And now, Apple AirPods Pro are just $199. You save $50. The latest tech solutions are at Staples, the working and learning store, in-store and online. Ends 9/10, limit 2 while supplies last.
Recovered from knee surgery, Joe Flacco starts in his absence. The Bills begin the 2022 season as the outright betting Super Bowl favorite for the first time in 31 years, listed at plus 600 at Caesars Sportsbook. The next best odds belong to the Buccaneers. Never a mistake to bet on Tom Brady to win another ring, believes ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
They're going to get better. They're going to get back Ryan Jensen at some point. They're going to get back Godwin, and I still think they're going to get back Gronk. So I think this team has a good foundation, and when it's all said and done, it's hard to bet against Tom Brady. And, you know, as you point out many times on Get Up, he led the NFL in passing last year.
Mike Tannenbaum on Greeny. Francis Tiafoe today became the first American man to reach the U.S. Open semi since 2006, following his straight sets win over Andre Rublev. Las Vegas Aces forward Asia Wilson, WNBA MVP.
Bonanza means more business in the fall months. Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
TV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station. Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy. Essential Energy. Live fit.
Are you ready to go?
3, 2, 1.
Text the word shirt to the number 70123 before 15 past the hour. That's SHIRT.
Your next chance to win is tomorrow morning at 8. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. Get the complete rules now at ESPN690.com. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau.
Hey, welcome back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Football at 5 on the way. Let me tell you about iCryo down in St. Johns County. It's Wellness Wednesday day at iCryo. So if you're coming home from work, need a little recovery? Well, they've got some fantastic offers you can't refuse. Today only. Toning facials, $120 today only. Limit of 10. That's a savings of up to $600. Looking to get your wife something, significant other something. About a toning facial at iCryo, and you can save up to $600, offering 5-pack of slimming sessions for $1,500, savings of $500. Single session slimmings $350. So stop by, get a quick and free body sculpting consult with one of their trusted health advisors, and you can find out more at iCryo in St. Johns County, 904-513-8877 as well, 904-513-8877. And you can also check out the iCryo app, user-friendly app down St. Johns County Pavilion at Durbin Park. Go where we go for all our recovery, cryotherapy, red light therapy, sauna, compression. You get it all at iCryo. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter back here on ESPN 690. Casey Kurtz, he posted a video from the soccer. Should we sit here for the next 10 minutes and critique it blow by blow?
He comes to my office, by the way, and he goes, Brent, under no circumstances, wants me to call in from the soccer game. And I was like, I don't think he doesn't want to hear from you. I just think he doesn't want to talk soccer with you for 30 minutes.
Well, I didn't say that. I said, hey, if you can come with a spin of what you're doing down there and what else, because outside of Casey, does anybody even know what game he's at?
No, I doubt it.
That was my point. So, I mean, Stuart Weber probably knows what game he's at.
Yeah, these
but up
two,
here in
that's it.
Jacksonville, like, does anybody care there's a soccer? That's great. Casey wants to go. Go enjoy it. We don't have to talk about it. We got 2 soccer teams around here now. We'll talk about the Armada and the new team. Tim Tebow's associated with it. I got to learn more about that. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter. Casey, just go have fun and cover the soccer match. Don't worry about us. We're fine. You're right back there? I thought it was Casey for sure.
No, we got a phone. Someone wants to talk football on this show.
Listen, phones are always open. Like, I always say this about this show. We started, believe this, or I was thinking about this today, and I'd love to go into like just this whole dialogue about it, but I won't. Other than to say, we started in 4 years ago in January. So what would that be, like 2019?
I believe so.
January 14th, 2019.
It's like three and change. Yeah.
And so, like, we pushed out there for weeks that this was starting on January 14th. And the number one question I got, I've told this story before, but the number one question I've got was, are you going to take phone calls? We're like, yeah, we can take phone calls. Why not? Take phone calls. Every show is open to phone calls. We put our number down on like the social media platforms right there, 904-362-9901. And we've got some good callers, people that call in, people like calling in. But so many people interact on social media now.
Yeah.
And they don't call in as much.
Well, Steve from Melbourne called in.
Well, Steve. Is this Steve like in a truck in a tunnel, Steve? What's happening, Steve?
Hey, not too much. How are you doing today?
You sound good today, Steve Boston. What's up?
Well, I'm already out of work, so.
Half a day today? I mean, what's going on?
Oh, no. I start at 6 in the morning.
Oh, boy.
I just got off like 25 minutes ago.
Atta baby. Hope you had a good day at work.
I spray lawns. I work outside all day. But no, my question is for this Sunday with the defense, and everybody's been mentioning, the D-line depth. And, well, technically it's a question and an opinion. But do you think they take into account that, hey, every now and then Trayvon Walker is going to be down there with a hand in the dirt, kind of matching out that depth there at the D-line? And also, just a question, you think Carson Wentz is having nightmares of number 41 coming at him, and then Trayvon stands in front of him, eclipsing him, saying, oh, we're going to get acquainted real quick?
Yeah, they could get acquainted real quick. Thanks for the call, Steve. Glad you had a good day at work, man. Listen, I think we might be putting a little too much into the depth and lack of depth. First of all, they brought Gotsis back, so that helped. When they had Gotsis, it was like, okay, well, that's weird, but they brought him back. They obviously know
what's that. Is that like a restructure thing? What's the purpose?
I think it was just a roster play thing. I think he was manipulating the roster a little bit, and there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of knew what they were doing there. I don't think this was just, let's see what happens if we release him. But I also think, listen, they're not going to leave this gaping hole. They don't even want to leave a gaping hole coming out of the draft. When you have free agency and draft, you want to fill all spots at least to the point where you think you're covered. You don't want to leave this crazy hole. They sure don't want to do that when they make their 53. And so I think it's a little bit overplayed. I mean, it's a curiosity for sure, but it's a little bit overplayed. And so to your point, Stephen, I think you can play a lot of guys in multiple positions if needed. Is that their best position right now? Is that what you want to do? Maybe not. But if forced into a situation, I think the Jags can do that if need be. And Trayvon Walker specifically, I think his role will grow. How fast will it grow is the probably $1 million question. How fast does it need to grow? And if he's doing really well, just from a pass rushing standpoint alone, and maybe moving around a little bit in that spot, is that okay? Or do you get greedy and say, hey, what does he look like here too? Because there's no doubt when they drafted him, they knew he could play multiple positions. And I can tell you that they thought he could be really good in the NFL at multiple positions, like the best pass rusher available, the best 3 technique guy available, the best X available. So they have a vision for him. I think what's really interesting to watch is the timing of all that. How quick does that happen? How quick should it happen? And what's the best situation for Trayvon to make that happen? Those are a lot of things that we don't know. I think the coaching staff, you have to trust them to figure that out, and they have to make the right calls on that.
So let me ask you a few hypothetical scenario questions, because clearly if Trayvon Walker ends the year with 7+ sacks, everyone is celebrating. It's a great
Should
year.
be good.
Fine.
That'd be good.
But what if he's one of these guys who finishes the year with 3.5, 4 sacks, but is second or third on the team in tackles? Is that a good year for Trayvon?
Yeah, I mean, I would doubt from his position he will be that high in the team, but I know the
I'm just saying if he makes up for it, if he's defending more passes than maybe than or defending the pass maybe than we would expect, dropping back, tackles for loss. Yeah.
The thing that people didn't lend any credence to at Georgia, when they look at his sack numbers and they say, well, where were the sacks? They didn't look at the hurries. He had a bunch of hurries, so he was around the quarterback. They didn't look at tackles for loss and all those plays. They just want to bring up sacks.
But do you think the fan base will recognize the work back there?
I think if he looks like he's disrupting, yes.
Okay.
But, what you have to go back to, what's the loudest season we've seen out of guy at the defensive front in recent memory? And that's clearly Calais Campbell, right? And Calais, so like Jawaan, who also did really well, or Josh Allen, who had that 10.5 sack year, they did really well in the sack category. I don't think you were noticing Jawaan in too many other categories, and that was really the book on him, and that was also, for some people, the problem with him and his skill set. Josh Allen's also going to make some plays, even in the pass game when he's not sacking the quarterback. He also can make plays against the run. He's very stout there, and so that makes him really a threat from multiple facets of the game. Calais Campbell, though, was the guy that, boom, sacks. And then even the fan base would celebrate when he got a tackle for loss. The big fella was back there. And when you notice the big fella's back behind the line of scrimmage and disrupting, I think fans know that.
Yeah.
I think fans are savvy about that. I think fans see that. And so I believe if he is able to do that and get sacks, whatever that number is, I think 3.5 is a little low. I think people want to see him get a handful of sacks at the minimum, and then you throw some of those tackle for losses, some big plays in that regard. Maybe it's a forced fumble, recovered fumble, some of those kind of plays. Like highlighty plays is what you need out of Trayvon Walker, because you got him number 1 overall for a reason. And the number 1 overall guy, whether he's on offense or defense, needs to be a splash player at some point.
Yeah, you want to see them perform, but you also want to temper expectations in that, at least previously, historically, defensive ends who have been drafted high as edge rushers typically don't start their rookie campaigns out on fire. And granted, a guy like Trayvon is a linebacker, but he is playing that edge on most of these formations. Not every linebacker who's going to rush the quarterback is going to end up having Micah Parsons' season.
Well, that's true, too. And now, listen, doesn't mean he can't. It doesn't mean he can't. He could have this. I really think we're looking at him and saying, all right, if he can have 6 to 8 sacks. Like, that's where our minds are at. I think even that's the bullish fan base on Trayvon. That's where we're like, hey, that's cool. Like, hey, you guys have educated us a little bit. Not much. We're not much of educators, but you've educated us enough on saying, look at the amount of sacks people get in a season in general. It's not enormous. There's not a high list of it. You expect a guy coming right in off college to do, boom, this, 12, 13, 14 sacks? That's not realistic. I think the fans are savvy of that. So we got him in this slot of 6 sacks, 7 sacks, 8 sacks, and the half a sack more you can get or the full sack more you can get, it's kind of gravy. That would be really cool. But we really don't think about, what if he does have a dozen sacks? Like, holy cow. Like, what if he is that guy?
What would you do with yourself?
Like, we really don't look at it that way because we're scarred. Well, we're scarred because nothing happens that way in Jacksonville very often. But I will remind you in 17, I'm not trying to compare this defense or that year will be like 17. But 17, one of the cool things about it is that Calais Campbell came out of the gates and had 4 sacks in the first game. And it was like, holy cow. Like, nobody would have predicted any player on the Jags to have 4 sacks in a game. And he did that against the Houston Texans, and they looked unbelievable. And it was like, wow. And then people do forget they lost the next week. Like, they actually lost the next week, even though they built all that momentum. And then they go kick Baltimore's butt, and, the rest is kind of history. My point being is I'm not sure we have, because we've been scarred in the past, allowed ourselves to think how good Trayvon could be immediately and how impactful he might be and could be. And the Jags picked him number 1 for a reason, because they see that in him. It might be in him 2 years from now, might be in him 3 years from now, but it might be in there in year 1.
It's interesting, and I think Josh Allen kind of plays into this fantasy a little bit because his rookie campaign was that 10.5 sack year. But like I said, it's not often it happens. So Jawaan Kearse with the most rookie sacks all time. That was 1999 with 14.5 sacks. And that number is not too much higher than 12. There's a big clumping around 12, though. Guys like Bradley Chubb, Mark Anderson, Terrell Suggs, Julius Peppers, Charles Haley. Those are some pretty formidable names.
They are formidable, but it also doesn't mean like Canton, Ohio. Bradley Chubb has been very disappointing since then.
This is my point. And like Trayvon could be on par with those names.
Yeah.
There's nothing saying he can't.
And Josh Allen's a great example. I mean, I love Josh. I'm not saying he's been disappointing, but I don't think any one of us would have predicted that he would have 10 sacks over the next 2 years after he got 10.5. Like, we weren't predicting that. And some of that's injury-based, too. But I think I'm fascinated and can't wait to watch Trayvon Walker play. We can't wait to watch Doug and his offense and this team. We can't wait to watch Trevor because Trevor's Trevor. We can't wait to watch ETN and Christian Kirk and what he's done in camp. And Zay Jones. I mean, Clay Harbor just said he's going to pop, right? I can't wait to watch the linebacker. I mean, there's a lot to watch in Jacksonville. There really is. That's not, again, there are teams over the past where, like, you wouldn't say that about every position group. But don't, so much so we've talked about all these others that I think once in a while we forget because Trayvon likes to be under the radar, that, like, we keep him under the radar. He was the number 1 overall pick. He was playing on a national championship defense. He was, by many accounts, by his fellow teammates, who are 5 of them got drafted in the first round, they say he was the best player on their defense. He might be really good. And if he's really good, does that change everything or what? Because now we think Trevor's good, and now this guy's good, and now you start to see that ship turn, as Shad Khan once mentioned. You can now see it in port making the turn because you got the 2 number 1 overall guys that have upside and that you can believe in and buy into. Man, that would be something. That would be huge. And maybe no bigger winner in all of that would be Trent Baalke.
Oh, for sure. You want to talk about reestablishing yourself and your job security. It's funny to me because I just think if that's happening, it's so Trayvon, by the way, that he comes from this Georgia team that is so stacked that he's almost invisible as the best player on that. Not invisible, but you know what I'm saying. On another team where he's one of 2 or 3 great players, I think his star shines so much more brightly. But on that Georgia team, because it was so crowded, such a crowded field, you go, all right, well, he kind of sometimes flew under the radar to be the number 1 pick. Then he gets on this team, and there are these pieces we're talking about that aren't named Trayvon Walker, and you're right, he could just sneak up on people.
Let me ask you, are you more excited to watch the Jags offense play or the Jags defense play?
So it's funny because as we do these segments, and I literally have asked myself that question before.
I've probably asked that question before, but now that we're closer, I want to ask it again.
Now it means something. I think now it means something. I think the offense I'm more excited to see, only because I think the biggest X factor for me for this team this year is Doug Pederson, especially when you saw what a catastrophe Urban Meyer was, especially when you're coming off a couple of coaching regimes where, like, look, Marrone, Bradley, these were decent guys by all, standards, but couldn't get it done on the field. Does Doug make the difference? We talked about it a lot in the 3 o'clock hour. We even touched on it in the 4 o'clock hour. How many wins is Doug worth? Because I think you may find that out, even though you've upgraded this roster. Then, on the defense, even though I'm more excited to see what guys like Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram bring to this team, Travis Etienne brings to the team, is James Robinson going to come all the way back? even though I'm excited to see that, the reality is I think it's the defense that's going to perform before that offense this season. I think we're going to see a lot more from that defense before we see it from the offense.
That's interesting. I asked, like, which one are you more excited to watch? But you bring up an interesting question about which one will perform. And I think the trend has been the defense because of practices and even the games. But I'm not sure I fully believe that. I think, this first of all, is more important the offense plays well. Like, we've already had that discussion countless times. It's more important they play well because Doug's an offensive guy, and that means Trevor's taking a leap. And I do think they could come out of the gates and play pretty well. I mean, I think if all the feel-good stuff about it, they could do well early. We just don't know as much. We haven't seen it yet. We don't know fully what to expect. The defense, I would say it's just a little easier for them to play well. They're going against Carson Wentz, and then Matt Ryan on offense. I mean, there's reason they're not going against Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers to start the year.
Poor Carson Wentz. Everyone has literally just let that ship sail.
That's a good thing you just brought up too, because I keep seeing this and I keep hearing. I mean, is he as bad as everybody's making him out to be?
When it's an avalanche of negativity, you start to buy into it, don't you?
Yeah, and I don't know if I do. Because I heard some of that today too. We were just talking. I forget where I was at the time, but like. It's like Carson Wentz sucks. I'm like, does he though? Does he really suck?
Couple of years removed from almost MVP,
and also threw like 22-5 last year, or 22-7, or something like that. I mean, he wasn't good when they needed him to be good. And the last 2 years were not. I mean, last two games were not good.
And the knock, or at least the rumored knock from inside the locker rooms, are that he's not a leadership guy. He's a nice guy. He's a guy of pure heart. He's got a stout faith, but he's not a guy you lean on when the crap hits the fan, is what the knock on him seems to be.
Yeah. So what's your point of view? Like, I think he's better than people give him credit for, to be honest.
Listen, I was debating with my friends back when we were figuring out what to do with Sam Darnold on the Jets that they should take a swing at Carson Wentz because he was out there. But I think he's got talent. I don't know if he's got that dog in him. You know what I mean? Like, you want to see the fight in somebody. We saw it in Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl, and you go, yeah, this kid's got it. You see it a little bit in Trevor Lawrence. You talked about the finger wag, the fun stuff in the preseason. You see he's got a little bit of that dog in him. I look at Carson Wentz and I go, nice guy. He'd be a good neighbor.
He would be a good neighbor.
A good neighbor.
I do wonder about Carson. Listen, I'm not trying to put him in elite category. I'm just saying I think it's a little ridiculous. I've seen plenty of quarterbacks beat the Jacksonville Jaguars before that were not good and not even close to being as good as Carson Wentz is. I also think when I've seen a guy be good, why isn't he anymore? And I do think the injuries and the situation in Philly to Indianapolis and now to Washington have set him in a weird confidence.
There's that continuity
gap,
deal too,
right?
by the way.
Yeah, and I think he's lacks confidence probably, and you need that at that position. But like, we talk about Carson Wentz like he's almost like a bust of a pick, yet he was an MVP candidate for a bit, and they got him a big contract. That's how much they believed in him. He has a little bit of Jared Goff in me. In him, in my opinion, which is ironic because they both came out at the same time. Like, where he's done good things, he earned a lot of money, yet everybody thinks they stink. Like, he just hasn't done enough to say, yeah, this is who I am. You're worse than what you're getting paid. And everybody believes that about Goff.
Yeah.
Like, very few teams would pick up Goff and say, okay, yeah, come on, we'll make you a winner here.
When the trade happened, everyone was like, what?
So it is a fascinating thing, but I am not just dismissing Carson Wentz. And by the way, from a competitive standpoint, this dude should want to beat the Jags more than anybody on that Washington team.
I mean, they basically ruined his year.
And they got him out of Indianapolis. Yep. The reason he's in Washington is because of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Amen.
We'll be back on ESPN 690. Football at 5 continues.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A widely scattered evening shower or thunderstorm, but pretty hit and miss, then partly cloudy overnight, dropping into low to mid-70s. Hot and humid for you Thursday. It'll be partly sunny. The scattered afternoon thunderstorms start to increase tomorrow with highs near 90 degrees. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys. No markups, no retail gains, and never a commission.
When I moved to Jacksonville 15 years ago, I found Nimnik Buick GMC. That led to the Acadia, a couple of them, in fact, and now the GMC Sierra truck. I'm on my second one of those, all from Nimnik Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade. I know the product, the service, and I know the people, from Bill Nimnik to Jackie Lynch and James Jones. They've been my friends since 2008. Nimnik has been your friend in Jacksonville since 1941. NimnikBuickGMC.com. It's where I'll get my next truck, or maybe it'll be my kid's first vehicle, at Nimnik Buick GMC.
It's going to be a busy month at Best Bet Orange Park. The Greater Orange Park Open Tournament is back. This $500 no-limit hold'em tournament will be happening on Saturday, September 24th, with $120 satellites starting on September 21st. With plenty of parking and a safe and friendly environment, you'll see why Best Bet Orange Park was awarded the Best of Play in event, entertainment, and sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekend. Best Bet Orange Park.
Hey, boss, look. The ding-dong doorbell cameras made the news again.
Again? You would think that mega company that bought them out would be more buttoned up.
You would think. But now some homeowners are upset they shared camera footage without their consent.
Huh. You know, being a crook and all, one thing we know is that home security systems are not created equal.
That's for sure.
I mean, take SafeTouch Security. I don't pretend to know about their video monitoring encryptions or algorithms or their flux capacitor or whatever.
Wait, what?
Whatever it is they do, it works. That's why you don't hear about SafeTouch cameras in the news.
Encryptions, algorithms, and flex capacitors?
Never mind. It's also why we have the Crooks of Us golden rule, stay away from SafeTouch houses. Stick to that and we'll be fine.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233. Flux capacitor not included.
Celsius Essential Energy is Jacksonville's official energy drink of summer, and Jacksonville summers are fueled by Celsius. If you see ESPN 690 out and about this summer, come grab an ice-cold Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
If you've been injured on the job and are not receiving the benefits you're entitled to, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000, and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Nerds! Here at NerdWallet, we often see people struggle with financial decisions, like with Helen. Hey, Helen.
Hello.
Helen, you're all over the place.
I'm trying to pick a rewards credit card, and I've ended up, well, everywhere.
With NerdWallet, you don't have to feel all over the place. NerdWallet has side-by-side comparisons of top credit cards. So whether you need a card for groceries or travel, the smartest card for you is right there.
Wow. Now I'm in one place with the right travel rewards card. Nice.
Nice indeed. NerdWallet, the smartest decision for all your financial decisions.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1025R compact tractor. And he can do just about anything because...
I make the earth take the shape that I want it to take.
But the Hubbards use their 1025R because...
We really are trying to create this homestead.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. How will you make the most of yours? Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1-Series tractor for just $124 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Morneau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690. Hey, we got a big show lined up tomorrow. Well, on the radio side on ESPN 690, because we'll have another announcement coming up at 4:30.
So many announcements.
So many announcements. It's another announcement. And at 7 o'clock, the debut of the 2022 Jaguars All Access.
Nice.
Which will be at String Sports Brewery. Josh Allen going to join us each and every week, and he'll bring a special guest each and every week. And tomorrow it's Trayvon Walker.
Very cool.
So we got a heck of a show to start the thing off on Thursday night. Like, this is the week, Aaron, that we get everything rolling. From Thursday to Monday, this 5-day window, we'll go Jaguars All Access. We'll go, this is from a TV standpoint, Friday Night Blitz. We launch SEC tonight at 7 o'clock on CBS 47 on Saturday. We always have a half-hour of Action Sports Shacks primetime. Sunday morning, we go Countdown to Kickoff at 11:30 on CBS 47. Then we do post-game show on Facebook from Washington. I'll be in Washington. And then on Sunday night, Action Sports Shacks primetime. And then Monday night is Jags Report live at Sneakers. Andre Cisco scheduled to join us. Notice I used scheduled again.
I did.
Scheduled to join us on Monday, 7 o'clock in Jax Beach at Sneakers. So how about that lineup?
I mean, that's pretty impressive, man. It's not easy. It's a labor of love for you guys, huh?
It's a labor of advertising.
I bet.
And we love it, man. It's cool. What a platform we get to do it. That's not even mentioning everything we got going on here on the radio side, which, of course, is 3 to 6 daily, and then the Blitz Scoreboard show, and then might have we got to double check, get confirmation on Sunday morning on the road, but so I don't have that yet to fully announce. That's not the announcement tomorrow.
Okay.
Monday morning, we launch what do I call the show? Monday Morning Madness. I came up with that title, I think. So if you like it, it's all me.
It's
if
all
you hate
you.
it, it's not me.
You.
Monday Morning Madness on 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. on ESPN690 and our social media channels. That's a new show. We're launching a new show, baby. And then 3 o'clock hour, Maurice Jones-Drew on Monday, each and every Monday. And then the 4 o'clock hour, well, you'll find that out tomorrow. So we got another guest lined up. I wonder who you think it is. Well, you know, Aaron. Don't tell him.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it.
And so we got a lot of fun stuff, man. How cool is that?
I'm liking what I'm hearing, man.
At one time, this station was just 3 to 6. Now we got all that.
Look how far you've come.
We've come.
All right. I'll take some of that.
You should. Absolutely. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter. Should we get Casey on the line? Because I really want to hear about this soccer, man.
Let me give him a ring-a-ding-ding.
Yeah,
give me a
can
sec.
you do that? I really want to see what's going on in Orlando. So he can explain it to me. Meanwhile, Stuart Weber just got out of the locker room in downtown, of course. And he heard from James Robinson, Travis Etienne, Jawaan Taylor, Walker Little, Devin Lloyd. Now, Weber tried to confuse me a little bit on this text because he went last names on everybody except for Walker. So maybe it's Walker Little or maybe it's Trayvon Walker. It's probably Trayvon Walker. I was thinking maybe you got Walker Little because of the backup job situation, but there's no doubt now this is Trayvon Walker. I got to believe Weber is, I don't know if OCD is the word, but he would go with the same theme the whole time, which is last names. So we got Robinson, Etienne, Taylor, Trayvon Walker, and Devin Lloyd. What a big, think about those 5 names I just shared with you that Action Sports Shacks caught up with in the locker room this afternoon. And you'll hear from some tonight on CBS 47 and Fox 30. And think about how big of everything is for these 5 guys. And this will show you the magnitude of not only the season opener, but the season. James Robinson, what a storyline.
What a story.
Travis Etienne, what a storyline. Jawaan Taylor, under the radar, but heck of a story.
Certainly this offseason.
I mean, now
into camp.
the story of camp, basically, you could say, outside of bad kickers. Trayvon Walker, we can't wait. We just spent a whole segment on him moments ago. And Devin Lloyd, who is actually getting the start as well, which I think is fascinating with the Muma stuff. I wonder if this is more, hey, he's our first-round draft pick. We're going to make him the starter. Because I think Muma pushed him really hard because of the lack of reps. This isn't on Devin, by the way, who's out. But I think Chad Muma earned a lot of respect and trust from the coaching staff. And you're going to see him in there. And if they have to use him more, like in these early weeks, to get Devin Lloyd up to speed and also conditioned and all those things, I think that's no problem for Mike Caldwell on defense. I think they like what they see. with Chad Muma. So we will hear from some of those guys throughout this show, throughout the rest of the week, but also on TV side. And I just think it's fascinating when that's like we also heard from Trevor today, big story. Also heard from Doug, big story. I mean, the storylines in the Jags locker room are real and they're good and can be really, really good depending on this thing, how this thing shakes out. All right, let's get Casey Kurtz on the line. He begged his way on the phone.
I thought it would be funny, by the way, if you would have kept going.
I simply did not ask to come on the show.
I thought it would be funny, though. I imagine that Casey sitting on hold was just getting aggravated listening to you
That would have been awesome.
talk about
Why
the
didn't you
Jaguars.
tell me that earlier? I would have done that for sure.
Yes.
That would have been great.
Hi, Casey.
Casey, you look good on TV, man. I saw you. You did a little stand-up. Nice
Hey, I'll
work.
tell you what. I mean, if you want true talent on CBS 47 and Fox 30, then you put that on the news. But, I'll just keep doing my thing for social media. It's cool.
Sounds like Casey visited a dispensary down in Orlando. True talent. Who are you talking about?
You can make a lot of noise on social media with those stand-ups. So what the heck is going on in soccer in Orlando today? What are you at? Why are you there?
Good question. Currently, I'm in the parking lot because there's a little rain going on. But
man,
what we're hoping for is the U.S. Open Cup final, which is in soccer. They do these crazy things that no other sport does, and they play tournaments during the season. They do it in Europe as well, and that's what's happening here. But obviously in the United States, and this is it. This is the final. Orlando City is looking for their first ever title in anything. They've never won the MLS Cup, and they've never won the U.S. Open Cup. They try to do that tonight against a team that's in the USL. They're not even playing an MLS team, which is fascinating because with Jacksonville potentially getting a USL team, this is what you're building towards because you could be on this stage.
So on the big, is this thing going to be sold out?
It is sold out, yeah.
It is sold out. So it's a big deal in Orlando. I mean, Orlando has been a big deal anyway, soccer-wise. They draw very well. But so this is like a big moment.
It is a big moment. I'm not going to lie. I thought you guys were pranking me there for a second because I've never been on the phone on the radio, so I couldn't hear anything. So I thought you guys were like playing me out as some joke. You might.
Oh.
I don't know.
You on hold, you couldn't hear anything?
You totally remind me of I figured somewhere along the way back home in Palmetto, wherever, that you called into a radio show in Tampa or something.
Never. This is the silence when I'm talking back to you guys right now is deafening. Like I think something's happening, but I guess it's not. You guys are just letting me talk about soccer, so that's cool.
No wonder. See, this never bothers Steven when he calls in because he's usually in a tunnel and he can't hear it anyway.
Yeah, man.
So
it's true. He doesn't know the silence is deafening.
That's true.
Anyway, yeah, it's pretty remarkable for a team from the USL to be here, not in the MLS. So either way, it's going to be a first win for Orlando City, which is big for them, or a USL team is going to win the U.S. Open Cup for the first time since 1999. So either way, it's going to be exciting.
That's pretty
if they
big.
Play. Like I said, it is raining.
That would suck for you.
That would suck because I understand that I can't stay if the game's played tomorrow because Aaron has to go to some leadership thing because they think he's a leader in the building.
Ouch.
So I will be back here tomorrow either way.
What do you lead, Aaron?
I lead
Great question,
a group of talented individuals through this show every day is what I lead. Casey, I really miss you because every break I'm looking at that clock going, how much time do I have? Oh, crud. I don't have enough time. I can't go to the bathroom. I got to stand here for 3 hours.
Yeah, I can't.
That's tough.
Really, there's no backup right now unless I call Stuart up from downstairs because I wouldn't even know how to get us on air.
Well, you guys have been on for most of the day, it sounded like. So
Yeah,
that's good.
we did pretty well.
I think
Did
so.
pretty well, I think.
I hope.
All right, man. We'll have fun at the soccer match if they play. Hope they play. And then drive safely back, and we'll see you tomorrow. I might be at String Sports Brewery tomorrow afternoon. I haven't told you that yet, but that might happen.
Usually you tell them like 3 minutes before the show, so this is improvement.
This is actually a great heads up. And also, it's an invite for everyone else that's listening to come on out to String Sports Brewery.
Hold on.
ESPN 690, 3 to 6. Maybe I bring back Brent Buys a Beer segment.
I want to ask Casey about the trip down there because you did or you did not go with Amanda. Amanda's not with you, right?
Amanda's not with me, no. I'm by myself.
Yeah, I did see her in the chat earlier, so I know she was listening. But you didn't go with any friends? It's just you?
It's just me, dog. I got a media credential.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford a ticket.
He's
What you mean?
media.
I'm just sitting there like, I don't want to make you feel bad about yourself or anything. It just sounds like a sad car ride by yourself, headed down to Orlando.
Why is that a sad car ride? If I could go 2 hours drive by myself, like that's great, man. Listen to some music, think a little bit,
listen,
maybe
Brett,
check in a podcast.
You've been married.
You've
been married for a while. You got kids. You got that 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
Casey's a young gun. He's a young buck. He's out here trying to live life.
It works well when you're married a year or two or under.
Well, he's still in the honeymoon phase. He's trying to get away from Amanda. Like, come on, Case.
I don't think he's trying to get away. He's doing work.
It's true. I was chilling. I was actually, for like the last hour, I'm not going to lie to you, it was like 30 seconds to be on camera. I kept saying like the stand-up that I wrote, the script over and over again in my head so I wouldn't mess it up. And then I messed it up right away. Yes. And I was beating the rain, by the way, because it was raining. So like I literally ran across the street, set the thing up. I was like, this looks all right. Started talking, messed up. Didn't get rained on, but now I think I am going to get rained on.
All right, so now hold on. So Friday, because I won't be here tomorrow, but Friday, I know it's a packed I know it's a packed show Friday, but don't let me forget. I'll download that clip. We'll put it on the stream. We'll break down the clip of you messing up your stand-up just so we can really dive into what happened.
Unfortunately, the clip no longer exists.
What do you mean it doesn't exist? It's on Twitter.
I didn't put the mess up in.
Oh, just
Brent.
the mess up.
I cut it off on my phone.
Oh, I think we should dissect that.
Yeah, you got it in you got it in the trash in there. It's not permanently deleted. Don't lie.
Yeah, that's true. Recently deleted, man.
Yeah, Casey.
I will look for it, but here's what I need from you guys, mostly Brent because he has 28,000 followers. Go ahead and give my little package there a retweet, right?
A little retweet.
You know, we need the Aaron. You can do it as well. Again, not as many followers, but still, I will take the clout. So just go ahead, shoot me a retweet, and if they do play, I will be live tweeting. I'll be doing my best Brent Martineau impression tonight during the game.
Listen,
so if anybody listening cares about soccer, follow me and retweet my thing.
I could literally open the studio window and scream out of it and reach more people than my Twitter reaches right now.
That's why I'm talking to Brent. Hey, by the way,
I just retweeted.
We do have Thank you, Brent. We do have a little bit of everything, by the way, because I retweeted this last night. Orlando City got caught spying on Sacramento's training.
Saw that.
Oh, wow.
It's like Bill Belichick's brother is like the head coach.
Rodney Belichick?
Yeah, it's a little Spygate situation. Now, granted, found out Sacramento was training at a public park. So
that's not
spying. Or was the
spying.
guy just on the fly?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just outside.
Since we've gone off the rails and talked a little football here, let's stay on the phone with Casey just to get some Mets reaction right now from Aaron.
Well, look, I literally called this back in June, didn't I, Casey? June 1st.
June 2nd, they were up 10.5 on the Braves.
And on June 1st, I said what to Casey? Casey, what did I say to you June 1st?
You said just wait.
Just
Till
wait.
July, I think.
They're going to collapse every year. Every year they collapse. Now Scherzer's going to the injured list. You know DeGrom doesn't care. He's out of there mentally. He's checked out.
Oh, come on. He cares.
Pitches his 6. He gets his 103-mile-an-hour fastball 18 times a game. He gets his strikeouts up, and then he sits the rest of the game. He's out of here after the season. The whole thing's going to fall apart. Trust me. I've seen it 100 times before with this team.
What's crazy about it is, like, they're still 80-something and 50-something, right? So, like, they're still fine. And I would take the Mets in a one-game playoff all day with DeGrom.
Yeah, true.
If he's still there. If he's still pitching at the end of the year.
Yeah, so in fairness, like, does it even matter? But they still have to go play a one-game play. You don't want to have to do that, right? So, here's what's wild. Last week we were talking about the Rays. Really, if they had won that last game Sunday, we would be talking about a similar situation. The heat is already on the Yankees, but we'd even talk about it more. Well, then the Yankees won that game. They stretched the lead out a little bit, and I think then they won like Monday night too. Now, Judge just hit another home run. He's got double nickels now. He's got 55. Why they pitched to him, I don't know. But now the Mets, I mean, they were playing like the Pirates.
Yeah, I don't get that one either.
Did you see actually the
stat?
Walker
in fantasy was horrible.
Did you see the stat? I had to read this to myself a couple of times. The Mets at 35, more than 35 games over 500, became the first team since I don't even know when, if not ever, to lose 3 straight games against teams with 35 or a game under 500 records.
Here's another stat. I didn't see that stat, although it's not shocking.
I think
to me.
I read that right. It was kind of confusing, but I think I read it right.
It's not. It basically means the Mets can't win a game even against bad teams. But how about this? There are 5-6 teams this season with like decent records, win-loss records in the majors, but only 2 teams in the entire majors are good at both home and away. Dodgers and the Astros. Everybody else is basically a 500 team on the road. So what does that tell you about who's making the playoffs?
Well, it tells you the Astros are cheating again, but anyway.
I'm just
who wins the East, Braves or Mets? And I shouldn't even ask you. You're going to say the
Braves are going to win the East. It's so depressing.
Who hates their team? Oh, Casey, the Braves or Mets?
I've been on the Mets all year.
Stop it.
But I hate to say it, I think I'm going to go with the Braves.
Of course he says the Braves.
How about this one? Who hates their team more, the Mets or the Yankees?
Oh, the Yankees should.
But
the Yankees have nothing besides Judge.
Yeah, they really don't.
And they're going to lose him.
Because I don't feel like Mets fans hate their team. I think they still love, Diaz. They love that they have DeGrom, and hopefully Scherzer comes back healthy. They love what they're doing. But they can't love They got to be so mad right now that they blew a 10.5 game lead. 10.5 game is a lot,
It's
man.
a lot. And these moves they made prior to the deadline, because they really weren't active at the deadline. But Vogelbach and a couple of these other bats, none of it is working out. None of it.
Well, remember that lineup for the Yankees was so good, and now their lineup is just garbage outside of Judge. So their moves aren't working out either. Oh, well, that's what we got. I can't believe the Mets and the Braves are tied. But, by the way, somewhere along the way, you got to give hats off to the Rays and the Braves. I mean, they're winning at the critical time of the season, and they're winning a lot. Both those teams. This wasn't just like a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
The Rays, I think, had the best record of anybody in the month of August. And you know what the Braves have done in the last couple of months. It's been sick.
Braves have a good team. They underperformed, I think, at the beginning of the season.
They did. They underperformed early on. All right, Casey, have fun at the soccer match. Can't wait to break down that video in a couple of days.
Sounds good, boys. I'll see y'all on Friday.
All right. That is Casey Kurtz in Orlando. I still don't know what soccer match is going on today. It's something they're going to win a trophy.
Something in Orlando. I think Mickey is playing Daffy.
I feel like sometimes soccer is like the travel ball format. It's like, hey, my team's going to the World Series. Oh, yeah, there's 500 World Series this summer.
Yeah.
It's like, which one really matters?
Somewhere there are 3 people in this city really mad at you right now.
Whatever. I live it. We'll be back on ESPN 690. Thanks for all the support on the Dream 18 cards. We sold out of Dream 18 cards, and we're raising more funds for local charities through the Dream 18. And coming up next, it's a Dream 18 golf tournament, September 19th at the Golf Club at Southampton. Registration is now open. We'd love you to be a part of it. Buy a foursome, or maybe just play on an individual basis. Maybe it's a tee sign. Get your company involved. Here's how you register. Action Sports Shacks, Dream18.com. September 19th at the Golf Club of Southampton. Play in our Dream 18 Action Sports Shacks, Dream18.com.
Injured? Hire America's largest injury firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open. Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjacks.com.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover Jacksonville, Porsche Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com. I got to play some golf today, and you know what that means? The body hurts a little bit. If you've had a fantastic summer and still have joint pain, it's time to do something about it, folks. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Mortno. I want you to call QC Kinetics now. You've put it off long enough. It's time to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees and back and shoulders and hips. Use all those to play golf. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Regenerative medicine uses highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. All you have to do to get a free consultation is call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. In Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522. Lots of people here have done this, and they are living life to the fullest, pain-free. Don't assume the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522, now in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. It's where I take my family to play golf, and you can take yours as well. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and it can be your golf destination. Enjoy your golf experience by calling 287-PLAY, 287-PLAY. Play some golf or maybe practice some golf at one of the newest facilities in the area. Grab some lunch or dinner, too. Southampton has it all. 287-PLAY for tee times and more. The Golf Club at Southampton, the home of the Dream 18. My home course. Make it your home course, too.
Hi, this is Keith Gurr, president of American Window Products. We are Jacksonville's oldest replacement window company. We have been providing excellent service for over 38 years and still have an A+ rating. At American Window Products, we have helped over 36,000 homeowners, and we don't use subcontractors. Right now, we're offering a free installation on 6 or more windows, as well as a free energy package. Go to AmericanWindowProducts.com and click for an estimate. That's AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, we are the window professionals.
Time is running out to get the most money for your used car. Do you have an extra car in the garage or one that needs repairs? Come to the live appraisal event by ACV Auctions on September 9th and 10th to find out how much your vehicle is really worth. Get an inspection, then watch it go live on a nationwide auction and watch the bids come in real time. You can sell it on the spot or just find out what it's worth. It's that easy, and it's free. Proudly hosted by the Tom Bush family of dealerships, 9850 Atlantic Boulevard.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. End the summer strong by starting up a new season of productivity. Your business upgrade begins with up to 48% off top-rated laptops, like Vostro, taking performance to the next level with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. It's time to push your growing business even further. What's next for you? Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Clean Freak, brought to you by Mr. Clean. Looking for an all-purpose cleaner to muscle through the tough dirt around your home? Well, the Mr. Clean Clean Freak Mist is up for the job. Clean Freak Mist brings the cleaning power and the special power nozzle to tackle hard-to-reach dirt, which means it can conquer caked-on messes in your microwave, stained countertops, and grimy surfaces. Just spray, wipe, and done. Brought to you by Mr. Clean. There's no clean like Mr. Clean.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
You know, I'm pretty proud of myself all day today with you pushing the buttons, Aaron Schachter.
Yeah.
You're the first one in the history of the show to not push my button.
Oh, I didn't make you mad or anything?
No. I mean, I have to literally push my on button to talk.
I asked you what your preference was.
I didn't. You did. I said I can do it. I knew you had a lot going on.
I didn't realize you were a button diva. I would have done it for you, bud.
Yeah. But Casey, Stewart's produced the show before. He's a button. He pushes the on button for me.
I gotta find Stewart's mic if he's gonna pop on here.
Why can't he push his own button? This is classic. Just perfect timing. Stewart jumps in and we can't get your mic on now. You had done so well today, Aaron. So well.
I think his mic is on now. Maybe. Stewart, go ahead and talk. There it goes.
Hey.
Here's the thing.
It's not that it's covered up.
It is covered
The
up.
red light's covered up.
I had to use that specific button for Clay, so I didn't have his mic on the board. But look, I found
And
it.
see, because I know that I produced, even pressing the button doesn't matter if the level's not up. So,
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't exist if you're not pressing anything. Yeah.
You know, you guys know way more than me. It is funny. Like, I can do a lot more probably behind the scenes in TV than I can do here.
Yes.
Like, I really don't. I could not go in that thing. I probably could figure out how to get my microphone on, but then getting a commercial break and all the rest, I would have no clue.
It looks a little intimidating. I'll show the folks on the stream here. I'll grab the camera. Excuse the motion sickness. It looks a little intimidating.
It does. There's a lot of buttons there.
But you don't really got to know much. I think it's like a couple of buttons you got to know, and then it's like game over.
Listen, I've seen some of the people you brought in here. It can't be that hard.
You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding.
That's not even a dig at Casey. He's like really good at it. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz is not here.
Not here.
Now it's Stuart Weber.
I'm jealous. I was almost going to make that trip myself.
I was thinking of you. You probably came up here, in fact, because I had said enough bad things about soccer.
Yeah, I mean it's
to the rescue.
It's my responsibility to come represent. I mean, it's big matchup tonight.
Wasn't that a great comparison though? To, like Travel Ball World Series, like there's a million of them.
Yeah,
and there are like, what's the latest tournament today in soccer?
Okay, well,
they go to a different event like in the middle of a season.
Yes, in the U.S. we don't have that many though. I mean, you have your normal one, and then you've got the U.S.
But in the US we
Open
don't care
Cup.
about soccer.
No, well, you should.
We watch English Premier League. Fulham, by the way, doing well.
Yeah,
I'm excited about Fulham when they do well.
They played Chelsea this weekend, who just fired their manager, which Casey would be here to tell you all about.
I should have got him going on that.
Oh gosh,
why didn't I do that?
You didn't need to.
We
to
really
fire him
needed
up
to
there.
send him off in
like
a
spiral,
and
then send him off into Orlando to like cause mayhem in his stadium.
Hey, you were in the locker room.
Yeah.
By the way, I should let you finish it with this U.S. Cup.
U.S. Open Cup.
U.S. Open Cup. It is actually a big deal.
It is, and from back in the few years ago when the Armada got to compete in it, I mean, it was exciting. It was a lot of fun to be able to compete against teams at different levels than yourself and try to stay alive and progress in the tournament. They had a chance to play MLS teams. I mean, it was cool. It was a cool experience that brings together every level. It'd be like a baseball tournament where the Braves were playing the Jumbo Shrimp.
Yeah,
so it's really cool.
I actually think that part of it is kind of cool.
And to have a lower division team in the championship tonight in Sacramento is really cool as well.
So that's it's a big deal.
That's
like,
a team from the lower level, and
couldn't
only
do
once
that
has a lower team won.
So for comparison, it'd be like at the end of the year, in mid-January, you have a Final Four between Division I, Division II, Division III, and
everyone. NAIA, your local rec team, because I mean, it literally starts at the lowest levels with amateur teams that are just playing on Sundays for fun.
Yeah. So I like the concept of it. But it wouldn't work in football.
Twitter was upset about the trophy because apparently, it's a generic trophy that you can buy anywhere.
What do you?
And they showed all these utilizations of this same trophy over the years. Like one was a NASCAR race, one was a random other soccer tournament, one was what was it? AEW guys were holding the trophy because they won some tournament that they had. So you could tell it's just one they saw in a catalog and said, "Hey, let's use this trophy."
Let me ask you guys this, actually. This came up today. Do we need trophies for the Dream 18 golf tournament?
I think that's a great idea, actually.
Well,
a really
we give
big,
prizes.
gaudy no, I'm talking like a 5-6 foot trophy that you hoist up and start shaking.
But it's for the people in a golf tournament. You can't just have one.
Yeah, it is tough with a team concept.
That means I got to pay 4 times whatever. That takes away from the charity.
I was literally about to reference the home run derby trophy
home run derby
that has taken up way too much space in our lives. Not just in our rooms, but in our lives since it happened.
Yeah, it's a big moment. Yes or no on the trophies, or just prizes?
I would rather see that money funneled towards prizes.
Thank you. Or toward the charity.
Or prizes.
ActionSportsJacksDream18.com, by the way. Shameless plug for that. We got Action Sports Jacks OT coming up next. Casey Kurtz, by the way, will be there for some of it, and so will Brian Middleton. And then we've got the Jumbo Shrimp after that. Maybe they could beat the Mets. Nice job, Aaron. Did a great job.
Thanks, buddy.
For Clay Harbor jumping in for an hour, and for Stuart Weber jumping in for 2 minutes.
For 4 minutes. I think I got a 4 minutes.
Nice job in the
here.
locker room today. Appreciate you getting
did what I could,
And more with Stuart all week on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening. A special announcement coming up tomorrow on ESPN 690. Again.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
See the road ahead more clearly with Sylvania Bulbs and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, purchase select Sylvania bulbs and get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate, plus receive double O Rewards points. Replace your bulbs today and see better tonight. Let the professional parts people help you find the bulbs you need. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When I moved to Jacksonville 15 years ago, I found Nimnik Buick GMC. That led to the Acadia, a couple of them, in fact, and now the GMC Sierra truck. I'm on my second one of those, all from Nimnik Buick GMC. GMC,